Good afternoon and a very warm welcome to this live broadcast of the Senate of the Republic of Kenya this Wednesday, July 29th, 2026 in the afternoon sitting. This is a broadcast brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with KBC Channel 1. And this afternoon, we are coming to you live from the Senate chamber at the Parliament buildings here in Nairobi, where senators are gathering for this afternoon sitting in the House. The atmosphere inside the chamber is gradually building as members take their seats ahead of the proceedings that are expected to focus on matters legislation, oversight, and the continued strengthening of devolution. This afternoon's sitting comes as counties continue to implement their budgets for the new financial year. Senators are therefore expected to devote considerable attention to matters touching on public finance, county service delivery, and accountability in the use of public resources. The order paper for today's sitting includes routine business such as communications from the chair, messages, petitions, papers, notices of motion and statements, providing senators with the opportunity to raise issues affecting their counties and seek responses on matters of public concern. Some of the statements that are expected this afternoon include requests for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. As you can see on your screens at the moment, the procession of the Speaker of the Senate is making its way into the chamber for this afternoon's sitting. In just a few moments, the Speaker will make his way into the chamber, as you can see on your screen, and the Senate will commence officially for the afternoon sitting. If you're just joining us, this is a live broadcast of PBU in partnership with KBC. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Doris Gitonga.
Na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, tunakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Tukuomba utuwajalie tuyatenda na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
The afternoon session has just begun and the Speaker of the Senate has called for the quorum bell to be run for 10 minutes. This is according to Standing Order number 40 of the Standing Orders of the Senate, which the quorum of the Senate and the committees of the whole House shall be 15 senators. If there is no quorum present when the chair is taken at the time appointed for a sitting of the Senate, the Speaker shall immediately after the prayer order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes. If no quorum is present at the expiration of the 10 minutes, the Speaker may direct that the bell be rung for a further 10 minutes And if there is still no quorum present, the Speaker shall adjourn the Senate forthwith to the next sitting. Allow me to continue taking you through the order of business that is expected this afternoon at the Chamber. And there are quite a number of questions and statements that are expected to be presented today in the Senate. The Senator of Nandi County, Senator Samson Cherargei, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries regarding the delayed payment of stipends and facilitation allowances to agripreneurs engaged under the National Agriculture Value Chain Development Project in Nandi County. The Senator for Marsabit County, Senator Mohammed Chute, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the delayed completion and abandonment of the Uran Health Center in Sololo Ward, Moyale Sub-County, Marsabit County. The Senator for Kisii, Senator Richard Onyonka, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations regarding the rising incidents of organized violence, harassment of traders, and misconduct by enforcement units in Kisii County. The Senator of Mombasa County, Senator Mohammed Faki, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding the unavailability of modern endoscopic and laparoscopic equipment in county referral hospitals. The Senator for the Tharaka-Nithi County, Senator Mwenda Gataya Mofaya, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health regarding stalled dispensary projects across the county. Allow me to take you through some of the bills that are expected to be debated this afternoon in the Chamber. The Assisted Reproductive Technology Bill, National Assembly Bill number 61 of 2022 by Senator Catherine Muma MP, who is a co-sponsor of this bill, which resumes at the second reading stage before a division. The bill seeks to establish a legal framework governing assisted reproductive technologies such as in vitro fertilization, commonly known as IVF. It proposes standards for fertility treatment, the regulation of fertility clinics, the handling of reproductive materials, and the protection of the rights of patients, donors, and children born through assisted reproductive procedures. The proposed law seeks to address a gap in Kenya's legal framework as the demand for fertility treatment continues to grow. The Senate will also consider the Kenya Roads Amendment Bill, number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025 by the Senate Majority Leader, which will be in the second reading and will be a resumption of debate that was interrupted on Tuesday, 21st July 2026. This bill is also at the division stage. The proposed amendments seek to improve the management and administration of Kenya Roads Network, an area of keen interest to counties given the report.
Clerk, you may call the first order.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Okay.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator for Nandi, kindly take your seats. Honorable Senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 10 teachers and 230 students from Sigor Boarding School in Bomet County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting. Clerk, can you confirm this information before I conclude it? Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, request for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1. Senator Fernandi County. The Honorable Sharanke, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I request for a statement on delayed payments to agripreneurs in Nandi County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries on a matter of county-wide concern regarding delayed payment of stipends and facilitation allowances to agripreneurs engaged under the National Agricultural Value Chain Development Project in Nandi County. Mr. Speaker, sir, these agripreneurs are critical in delivering extension services and value chain interventions to our farmers. However, delays in settling June 2026 stipends, coffee training facilitation allowances, and payments for vaccination activities have disrupted their project implementation, raising concerns about fund management, agripreneur welfare, and continuity of services. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee should address the following. 1, the status of payment of the June 2026 stipends and facilitation allowances, the number of agripreneurs affected, and when the outstanding payments will be settled. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, where the bottleneck occurred in the process of funds disbursement, who bears responsibility, and whether adequate budgetary provision exists to meet obligations. Mr. Speaker, sir, number 3, the effect of delayed payments on project implementation, extension services, and farm support, and measures taken to mitigate disruption. Mr. Speaker, sir, finally, steps by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, the Project Coordination Unit, and the County Government of Nandi to ensure timely payments in future, strengthen accountability, and address administrative lapses or financial mismanagement. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Marsabit County, the Honorable Mohammed Chute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I have a statement on the delayed completion of Uran Health Center in Moyale, Sub-County, Marsabit County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the delayed completion and abandonment of Uran Health Center in Sololo Ward. This is Moyale Sub-County of Marsabit County. Mr. Speaker, sir, despite construction having commenced over 4 years ago with substantial public investment, the project remains incomplete and the site abandoned. This has denied residents access to essential health care, forcing vulnerable groups, including mothers, children, and elderly, to travel long distances for basic and emergency services. So, Speaker, the situation raises serious concerns about project implementation, accountability, and the prudent use of public resources. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the current status of Uran Health Center project, the percentage of works completed, reasons for the prolonged delay and eventual abandonment, and measures to secure the incomplete facility from deteriorating and vandalism. Number two, the total funds allocated, disbursed and utilized, details of contractor awarded the project, the current contractual status, and any breaches of obligations. Number three, steps by the county government of Marsabit to resume, complete, equip, and operationalize the health center with clear timelines. Honorable Speaker, finally, actions taken against contractors or public officers responsible for the delay, and possibly long-term plans to ensure timely completion and sustainable operation of the health facility. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Senator for Kisii County, the Honorable Richard Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of national importance and concern regarding the rising incidents of organized violence, harassment of traders, and misconduct by enforcement units who have been employed by the county government of Kisii. Mr. Speaker, Kisii County has recently witnessed a worrying rise in violence and insecurity. A case in point being attacks which have been organized by armed youths on a political convoy in Keumbu, which left one person dead, several others injured, and property destroyed. Further, Mr. Speaker, intimidation by criminal gangs and alleged excesses by members of the county government's outfit, which is known as the Green Uniformed Workers, commonly known as the Green Army, have started disrupting business activities, undermining public safety, eroding confidence in lawful governance, and as a result, very many issues have come up, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, these developments obviously do threaten livelihoods, constitutional rights guaranteed under Article 29, 40, and 43 of the Constitution, and the stability of our local economy, necessitating very urgent intervention. Mr. Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. Number one, the recent incidents organized by violent goons in Kisii County, including the attack on any political leaders who disagree with the current administration in Kisii. Mr. Speaker, the second point is that the committee should explain to this House what steps are being taken by the National Police Service to investigate, arrest, and prosecute individuals involved in criminal activities and intimidation. Number three, Mr. Speaker, what legal and policy framework is governing the recruitment of this quote-unquote Green Army? And Mr. Speaker, these are young men and women who are dressed in green, this was a very good idea because they were supposed to be collecting garbage and managing whatever that the county government needed. And yet, Mr. Speaker, what you have is that the Green Army individuals, including one, they have a mandate which we don't know where they got it from. They have been given certain powers which we don't understand. They are acting as if they are committing they are actually handling oversight and accountability mechanisms.
Senator Richard Onyonka.
Yes.
Kindly read the statement as approved.
That's what I'm reading.
No, you're not, because I'm following it.
What am I?
I have a copy of the approved statement.
What?
Just stick to the statement, Honorable Senator.
That's what, okay, let me read.
All right.
I'm saying the committee should address the following. The legal and policy framework governing the Green Army program, including its mandate, powers, oversight, and accountability mechanisms, and investigate allegations of harassment and unlawful confiscation and destruction of traders' property. Number 4, what measures are being implemented by the national and county governments to safeguard investors, market vendors, hawkers, border operators, and small-scale businesses from intimidation, extortion, and unlawful interference? Number 5, the long-term security and governance strategies being undertaken to dismantle these organized criminal gangs, restore public confidence, protect lawful businesses, and ensure that all county enforcement operations are conducted in full compliance with the Constitution and the law countrywide. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hope Mr. Cherargei is happy.
Senator for Mombasa County, the Honorable Munyehaji Faki.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Health on a matter of nationwide concern regarding the unavailability of modern endoscopic and laparoscopic equipment in county referral hospitals. Mr. Speaker, sir, advancements in medical science have enabled many conditions that previously required invasive surgical procedures to be treated through minimally invasive endoscopic and laparoscopic procedures, which are safer, less costly, and promote faster recovery. However, many county referral hospitals lack this modern equipment, thereby compelling patients to travel long distances to national referral or private hospitals for treatment. Although these procedures are covered under the Social Health Authority, SHA, inadequate availability of endoscopic and laparoscopic equipment in public health facilities continues to undermine equitable access to quality health care and the realization of universal health coverage, UHC. In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, measures In the statement, the committee should address the following. Number 1, measures by the Minister of Health, the Social Health Authority, SHA, and the county governments to ensure equitable measures being taken by the Minister of Health, the Social Health Authority, and the county governments to ensure equitable distribution of modern equipment across all counties. Number 2, the progress of ongoing SHA needs assessment and the extent of involvement of county governments and other relevant stakeholders in determining priority equipment and needs for our county hospitals. Number 3, strategies by county governments to equip county referral hospitals with minimally invasive procedure equipment, reduce unnecessary referrals, lower treatment costs, and improve access to quality health care. And number 4, the role of the Minister of Health, SHA, and county governments in guaranteeing transparency, accountability, and value for money and responsiveness to county health priorities in the acquisition and distribution of medical equipment. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Senator Mohamed Faki Munyehaji, Senator Mombasa County.
Senator for Tharaka Nithi County, the Honorable Mwenda Gataya.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on a matter of a nationwide concern regarding store dispensary projects across the counties. Mr. Speaker, sir, dispensaries were established to bring essential health care closer to rural and underserved communities. However, many projects across 47 counties remain incomplete or non-operational, forcing residents to travel long distances for basic services, increase costs, and undermining the constitutional right to the highest attainable standard of health granted under Article 43 of the Constitution. In the statement, Honorable Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1, funds allocated, disbursed, and utilized in the last 2 financial years towards the completion, equipping, and operationalization of stored projects across the counties. Number 2, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also look at the total number of stored, incomplete, or non-operational dispensary projects across the counties, indicating their respective locations, stages of completion, reasons for the delays, and the interventions being undertaken to ensure their completion and operationalization. Number 3, Honorable Speaker, the committee should also look at the interim health care measures to ensure service provision to residents affected by the stored, abandoned dispensary projects, particularly vulnerable groups, and steps to mitigate increased costs and distances in accessing health care. Number 4, Honorable Speaker, but not the least, the committee should also look at the plans to mobilize additional resources, including support from development partners and other stakeholders, as well as to undertake a comprehensive audit to establish causes of delays, public funds expended to date, accountability, and timelines for completion and operationalization of each project. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. This is Senator Mwanda Gataya, CBS Member of Parliament. Thank you.
Senator for Makueni County, the Honorable Maanzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to request a statement on the importation of raw sugar into the country. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Agriculture, Livestock, and Fisheries on a matter of national concern regarding the importation of 28,000 metric tons of raw sugar by Mombasa Sugar Refineries Limited. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the annual domestic production and consumption of sugar in Kenya, indicating the quantity of locally produced sugar available when Mombasa Sugar Refineries Limited was authorized to import 28,000 metric tons of raw sugar. 2, the basis for approving the importation, including the documented national sugar deficit at the time, and the findings of any supply and demand assessment conducted by the Kenya Sugar Board before recommending issuance of the importation. 3, details of the approximately 6,000 metric tons of raw sugar that have since been refined and sold, including a list of the buyers and the quantity purchased by each. 4, the level of compliance by Mombasa Sugar Refineries Limited with the conditions of the import permit, including the details of the import authorization, the conditions attached thereto, and all inspection, monitoring, and compliance reports prepared by the Kenya Sugar Board, the Kenya Revenue Authority, and the relevant regulatory agencies, including details of any breaches identified and enforcement action taken. 5, the measures to monitor the importation, transportation, storage, refining, and distribution of imported raw sugar and prevent its diversion, repackaging, or sale as table sugar, including cases of diversion detected and the action taken against those responsible. Daniel Manzo, Senator Makueni, MP. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, I will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes. If you get an opportunity to speak, kindly do so for not more than 3 minutes. Senator Okenyuri, SC.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Chirarge on the pending payments that are owed, the stipends that are yet to be settled to the agripreneurs. Mr. Speaker, while we want to encourage young people to venture into agriculture, and this has been a very commendable program that I have to commend, but on the other hand, why would we encourage them to venture into this and deny them the little stipend that actually enables them to put food on the table, Mr. Speaker? So I really want to support and say that the committee needs to look down into this issue so that the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock can come out clearly and say when they are going to facilitate the payment of these stipends to several agripreneurs who are depending on this, Mr. Speaker. So not just for Nandi County, But if there is any other county that still owes agripreneurs their stipends, Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Senator Beatrice Ogola.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the statement by the Senator of Mombasa, Senator Mohamed Faki, regarding the unavailability of modern key equipment in county referral hospitals, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I've had a patient at the Coptic and a number of hospitals since the beginning of the year. And I appreciate, Honorable Speaker, that when the hospitals have the right equipment, patients can be saved a lot of pain in the course of their treatment. That means detection can be done early enough and the right measures can be put in place at the right time. And that is why I support that most of the hospitals, not only the county referral hospitals, but ideally, Honorable Speaker, all hospitals, all health facilities must have the right equipment because, Honorable Speaker, we are talking about access to services for our people. Honorable Speaker, the main focus of health should be on prevention, and having the right equipment support prevention because detection will be done early enough and the right treatment or the right address will be given to members of the public. Honorable Speaker, having had the patient I've had, that is why I appreciate even the provision and the services that are given by SHA. A number of people, especially at political forums, I see our leaders continuously say that SHA is not working. But, Honorable Speaker, I stand here to say that SHA is working. I've seen cancer patients at the Coptic Hospital and other hospitals get services paid by SHA. And that is why we need to face this and say, if something is not working, let us address what is not working, probably some structural issues, but overall, I see patients getting services from SHA. And so, Honorable Speaker, let us ensure that our counties have the right equipment. And secondly, Honorable Speaker, on the statement by Senator Onyonka, on the organized violence, harassment of traders, and misconduct, ideally what everybody is calling today goonishly. Honorable Speaker, we must come back to ourselves and take responsibilities. When we talk about these goons, who are they? Are they non-Kenyans? But who are bringing the goons? It is the leaders that are everywhere. When we go to functions, we see each one of you hiring, and in our budgets elsewhere, we call them.
What is your point of order, Senator? The good senator has concluded his comment. Her comments.
Oh, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, sir, did you hear the good senator say that she knows that each one of us here go to meetings with goons? Yes. Madam Speaker, I want to challenge her to tell this House when she saw me with goons. I've never gone to any meeting with goons. I'm a very good citizen, Mr. Speaker. I've even hosted the majority leader in my county, and he knows I'm a gentleman. I don't know about him, but I'm a gentleman. So, Mr. Speaker, this issue of goons is a very live subject. To stand in this House and tell the entire nation that as leaders we go to meetings with goons, that should not go on record unless she can substantiate. That she should withdraw that statement, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ogola. You have made a very grave allegation that all these members, Order, Honorable Senator, the chair is not included in that statement. So, Honorable Ogola, can you substantiate that statement, that all members here walk around with goons?
Honorable Speaker, I'm saying up to where I am, and I know, Honorable Speaker, that I go to public functions and I see leaders walk into functions with groups of people. I do not remember mentioning specific names. I don't remember making specific names on saying Senator who and who. I only said I go to public functions and I see leaders work with numbers of people that come, supporting them, throwing words to other opponents. Some of them, yeah, they call them informal security. Honorable Speaker, who are these?
Senator Wakoli.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add flesh onto the statements that have been raised by honorable members. Mheshimiwa Speaker, Honorable Speaker, allow me to switch so that members can understand what I'm talking about. Can I proceed?
You may proceed, Honorable Senator.
Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa nafasi ili niweze kuzungumza lugha ambayo seneta wenzangu na Wakenya wanaweza kuelewa vyema. Mheshimiwa Speaker, hoja ya kwanza ni kuhusiana na zahanati na hospitali ambazo hazijakamilika na fedha zimetengwa ili hospitali na zahanati hizi jengwe. Hoja hii imeibuliwa na Mheshimiwa Chute, Senator mchapakazi. Mheshimiwa Speaker, jambo hili ni jambo sugu ambalo lazima liangaziwe. Miaka kadhaa ya kifedha imepita Mheshimiwa Speaker, na baadhi ya zahanati ambazo zilitengewa pesa Mheshimiwa Speaker mpaka sasa hazijakamilika. Mimi kule Bungoma nakotoka Mheshimiwa Speaker, hospitali ya Kimalewa katika wadi ya Mkuyuni Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni zahanati ambayo ilijengwa miaka zaidi ya 30 iliyopita. Na hivi juzi gavana alitenga fedha kujenga jumba la kina mama kujifungua, na mpaka sasa Mheshimiwa Speaker halijakamilika. Hospitali ya Ndalu Mheshimiwa Speaker ni hivyo. Hospitali ya Brigadia kule Tongaren, hospitali ya Kapkatenyi kule Mlima Elgon, hospitali ya Sirisia kiwango cha 4 Mheshimiwa Speaker, ambayo ilitengewa milioni 100 zaidi ya miaka 5 iliyopita. Mpaka sasa ni gofu ambalo hatujui fedha zetu zilienda wapi. Hospitali ya kiwango cha 4 kule Bumula Mheshimiwa Speaker, vile limezubaa na limeduaa kwa sababu wale waliopewa pesa hizi kuchapa kazi na kujenga hawatimizi jukumu walilopewa. Hospitali ya Kimilili Mheshimiwa Speaker, ni jumba ambalo ukilitazama unaona siku za kikoloni. Hakuna jambo jipya limetendeka pale, lakini ni miaka mingi tumepata zaidi ya bilioni 50 tangu tuanze ugatuzi Mheshimiwa Speaker. Hospitali inayofuata ni hospitali ya Webuye ambayo iko katika barabara kuu kutoka Mombasa kwenda Malaba na kwenda mpaka Uganda. Mheshimiwa Speaker, fedha zilitengwa kujenga eneo la kushughulikia majanga ya dharura Mheshimiwa Speaker. Mpaka sasa jengo hilo hakuna chochote kilichofanyika katika eneo hilo. Hospitali ya Misemwa kule Webuye
One minute, you conclude your thoughts.
Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker kwa moyo wako wa ukarimu. Hospitali ya Ngoli kule Bumula, hospitali ya Maeni Mheshimiwa Speaker kule Kimilili. Kile ninachosema Mheshimiwa Speaker, magavana wawache kujenga zahanati na hospitali ambazo hawakamilishi, ambazo hazina madaktari, ambazo hazina madawa, ambazo hazina maji, ili hali wanatafuta hongo kutoka kwa wanakandarasi ambao wanajenga hospitali hizi. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator for Nairobi City County.
Speaker, yesterday I was quite privileged to be invited to a show on one of the local media stations. And because during the Gen Z revolution, my numbers were circulated countrywide, whenever I get opportunity to go to these shows, I am just inundated by messages from across the country about the things that people would want me to highlight or to bring out in those shows, Honorable Speaker. But one of the most shocking one is related to the statement that has been brought by Senator Faki regarding the lack of important equipment in the county hospitals. Speaker, someone sent me a message yesterday saying that we don't have blood in the country because for the last 5 months, we do not have blood bags. I don't know if that's something that any one of you can picture in this house. We do not have bags for almost 5 months for people to be able to donate blood. That samples of blood that are collected in the counties have to be transported by road to Nairobi or to Mombasa for testing. That, Honorable Speaker, there are no working refrigeration equipment in our county hospitals. And by the time the results come back 2 to 3 days later, that blood can no longer be utilized. Speaker, the most shocking revelation from that particular message was that knowing the need on the ground, especially in emergency circumstances, health workers are taking chances of infusing people with blood that has not been tested in order to be able to save lives. So, Honorable Speaker, even donors are being told, if you are a blood donor, if you want to donate blood, you come with your own bag. So when people tell us that our healthcare system is working in this country, and you have stories such as the ones that have been told, and stories such as the ones that we're being told by Senator Faki, there's a problem with our healthcare. You know, I hear people saying, oh, if SHA is working, we should just all say it is working. Our healthcare system is broken, and Honorable Speaker, we have to address these issues. Some of the people in government are here, when they count the success of the current health system, they say that the success is in the numbers of people who have registered under SHA. That cannot be the measure, because SHA is not a registration bureau. We are not conducting a census. The measure of whether healthcare is working is in addressing such issues, Honorable Speaker. Can you imagine the risks that are having to be taken, being infused with blood that has not been tested, Honorable Speaker? So there's a problem, and we must resolve it without hiding behind political slogans saying SHA is working. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, you are aware that I had quite a weekend. We threw quite a bash in Kitale and Bungoma counties. And we want to thank the people of Trans Nzoia and Bungoma for coming out to say no to this culture of goonism. Because all of us have a constitutional right, Honorable Speaker, to be able to meet with people, to be able to talk to people, to be able to sell our ideas. When you see things like what happened in Keumbu, it is people who are no longer able to compete on ideas. They have chosen violence in order.
Senator Fernandi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So I want to make a few comments. And I'm surprised that Nairobi Senator was sweating yesterday evening, but he has the energy to castigate the government today. He could not answer those questions, so we'll make sure he sweats more. Mr. Speaker, let me comment on this issue of importation of raw sugar in the country. Mr. Speaker, under the Kenya Sugar Board, between January and May, I've consulted Kenya Sugar Board. We produced 348,143 tons. This Mombasa Sugar Refineries Limited has been allowed to import 165,000 tons of sugar in the country. While the production has increased, Mr. Speaker, this is a threat to our farmers, sugar farmers, because where I come from, Nandi County, especially the entire Masop and Tindred sub-county, Mr. Speaker, sir, we produce a lot of sugar. So if we allow this glaring importation of sugar without regulation, and you have heard the CS of Agriculture has never commented on this, CS Mutai Kagwe, we are threatening the steady production of sugar in the country, Mr. Speaker. Even if this raw sugar has to be sold to Coca-Cola, among other companies, we must be careful, because if the production is approaching 350,000 tons, Mr. Speaker, we need to be fair to our farmers, including Ramizi, where you come from, Kuala and part of Kilifi. We are trying to revive the sugar sector there. We must be careful, Mr. Speaker, and I hope after this statement by Senator Makweni, the importation of sugar should stop immediately so that we protect the local. We should be like Donald Trump. The way he says, MAGA, make America great again. We should make Kenya great again by protecting our local farmers, Mr. Speaker. Even when the crop failure in maize, Mr. Speaker, we must be careful, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, on the issue of health sector, I want to thank the Senator of Marsabit in this Uran Health Center, Mr. Speaker. It's just a thrown store away from the governor of Marsabit, Mr. Speaker, but it's yet to be complete 4 years down the line, Mr. Speaker. It is a story you have heard in Bungoma. In Nandi is no longer going concern. In fact, in Nandi, Mr. Speaker, they closed my dispensaries between Friday up to Sunday. I don't know whether the disease can migrate between those 3 days, Mr. Speaker. So there is a crisis in the health sector, and I want to appeal to the health committee to relook at this issue of health sector so that our people do not continue to suffer. Tying up with what Senator Faki has just said, even in access, Mr. Speaker, of some of these services that we are talking about, including cancer and many other equipments, Mr. Speaker, so that we can ensure health, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Speaker, I think we need to reconsider whether we did the right thing by devolving health. I think as a House, we need to rethink, Mr. Speaker, going into the future. I support.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, let me start by commenting on the statement by Senator Onyonka on the issue of use of the youth, the enforcement units and the youth to harass traders and, of course, use for political manipulation. Mr. Speaker, it is very sad that our leaders, including our own president, they keep on talking about how they are going to eradicate the issue of goonism in this country. But this issue is happening under their watch. Mr. Speaker, it was so sad that in Keumbu, when we were there, going to another rally, after the Kisi rally, the police were seen on camera throwing stones alongside the goons. And those policemen, nothing has been done to them. The goons who are involved and who are on camera, they have not been arrested to date. It is sad. So we want to ask the government and the president that please talk and act. Those people who have been involved in goonism, they should be arrested before you give us an assurance that you are going to deal with goonism. Mr. Speaker, you know very well I'm a victim of goonism. After the attack that happened to me in Kisumu, I am sad that to date, those people who are involved in that attack are still in Kisumu, walking around. And the CS for security, one Murukomen, comes to the committee and he tells the committee that those people have gone to the neighboring country. Those people are still in Kisumu. So Murukomen, I must say very clearly that if we have had a CS who does not understand his job, who is incompetent, it is Murukomen. And President Ruto should sack Murukomen or transfer him to lesser duties. Because, Mr. Speaker, we cannot have a president who is complaining like the rest of us about goonism when he has a minister who is not working. And, Mr. Speaker, it is also sad that the PS for internal security, one Murukomen, one Raymond Omolo, he is walking around with goons. Whenever you see him, he has a group of goons around him.
Yes, what is your point of order, Senator Eddy? What is your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I don't know what is exciting the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, you realized when Senator Beatrice got up and said that members of the House are working with goons, how it elicited a serious debate. Is it in order under standing order number 101, 105 and 101, Mr. Speaker? 101 says you cannot discuss an individual in whichever nature without bringing a substantive motion here. Mr. Speaker, the issue of goonism in this country is such a serious issue that you cannot be explicit on the persona of an individual and say they are working with goons, the way Senator Osotsi is saying, without bringing a substantive motion here, Mr. Speaker. So is it in order for Senator Osotsi to discuss individuals without bringing them into this House? I would love, Mr. Speaker, to have those individuals being brought here so that we can discuss them substantially with a motion so that we can be able to establish these goons that they work with. Because otherwise, it will just be a comment without a proper investigation on where these goons are and who is using them. So it's in order, Mr. Speaker, to mention names and establish that fact without giving us those facts and putting a motion on those individuals here. I wanted to encourage the party should put a motion so we can discuss those individuals here with a substantive motion, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Senator Osotsi, the point of order raised by Senator Fomigori is indeed valid. You have made an assertion that the PS in charge of internal security, one, Raymond Omolo, walks around with goons. Now, Senator for Nairobi City County, you don't just yell back to the chair. If you have any issue, you know what to do. And I'll give you the floor. Senator, Sergeant at Arms, I'm addressing the Honorable Senator. Can you give me Senator Osotsi? Now, that statement calls for two things. One, you cannot discuss a state officer without bringing a substantive motion. You're in breach of that particular standing order. Secondly, even assuming you can discuss a state officer without bringing a substantive motion, you've made an assertion that the PS walks around with goons, which then you may be called upon, and you have indeed been called upon by your colleague to substantiate that allegation. You are out of order for breaching the standing order that requires you to bring a substantive motion, and therefore I will ask you to withdraw that, and if you feel you are persuaded by your statement, you may then bring a substantive motion. But for now, just withdraw and apologize. After I'm done with Senator Osotsi.
Mr. Speaker, I don't want to waste my time because we know how this thing ends up like. But that matter is before the Security Committee, and the CS and the PS have been summoned to come. It is unfortunate they have taken too long. I will provide the evidence when they come, but for now I withdraw, but I will provide the evidence when they come. The point I wanted to raise is that the people who can help us deal with this problem of goons are the people who are in charge of the Interior and Security Ministry. But if you have a scenario where they are unable to deal with the problem and they are complaining just like the rest of us, then whom do we go to? And that is why I don't think I'm out of order to say that there is a problem in the security docket in this country. And we know who is in charge of the security docket. We want him to do his job competently. And if he's not able, President William Ruto, you can save this country a lot of agony by having that CS and the PS dismissed from that ministry, because we have many, many other capable Kenyans who can do the job. As a senator elected by the people, it is so sad that I can be harmed and nothing happens to the people who have done that. What about the ordinary person, Mr. Speaker? This is very sad. Today it may be Osotsi. Tomorrow the same people may experience the same problem I went through. So, Mr. Speaker, even as we sit here and talk about the issue of use of goons to intimidate and to do all manner of things for political manipulation, Mr. Speaker, this is a serious issue that must be dealt with. And it is not just in Kisii County. Every other governor is having groups of youth who intimidate people who try to question what is happening in the county. the goons are sent to them to intimidate them. This is not just Kisii County alone. I've seen many other counties. And Mr. Speaker, something has to be done about this, and I want to request the committee that will deal with this matter to widen it to include all other counties, including the county where Cherargei comes from. I know what is happening there. So,
Senator Wamatinga. Yeah, it's before Senator Wamatinga. Senator for Nairobi City County, what's your clarification?
You know, Speaker, we are coming to the tail end of this House, but I continue to be confused at the application of the rules here. I do not hold brief for the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, Murkomen, but in Ososi's submissions, Honorable Speaker, you allowed the incompetence of the CS to be debated, but when we got to the PS for Interior, immediately Ososi made reference to, because Ososi is a victim, he knows the people who attacked him. And it is possible that he has seen those same people in the company of this PS. So this application of this rule on substantive motion, Honorable Speaker, we need some clarity. When is a matter under substantive inquiry, and where is it fair comment, and where is the line that we draw between just debate and something that requires a substantive motion where you're discussing somebody's conduct?
Honorable Sifuna, if you're discussing matters that border on criminality, then you need a substantive motion. And the statement that has been discussed here is that the PS in charge of Interior, of Internal Security, has been alleged that he was working with goons. That borders on criminality, and it requires serious investigations by way of a substantive motion. And that is exactly what I meant when I said there are certain matters that certainly you cannot just, because evidence needs to be adduced, and a recommendation or a resolution of this House from the debate that will ensue will be adopted. Senator Wamatinga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity also to contribute to the motions, to the statements that have been presented by my colleagues. Mr. Speaker, as I support the motion, the statement by Senator for the Tharaka-Nithi, it is indeed very sad that we as senators and the leaders of this country who's been given the duty and who have the moral obligation to ensure that we do not mislead our youth and our young people towards being used as a political tool. It is indeed very sad that we are spending a lot of time depending on what a goon is and who goons are and who sponsors them. Mr. Speaker, we are living at an age when we should be discussing about the future of the coming generation, the advent of artificial intelligence, and what place our youth should take. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, this House is mandated to do the oversight. Some of the functions that we are given, Mr. Speaker, oversighting health, which is a devolved function. It is indeed very sad, Mr. Speaker, that we have seen many projects initiated but they stall because there is lack of political goodwill. Mr. Speaker, sir, we as a House must put our foot down and discuss the possibility of realigning the health sector, maybe back to the mainstream and central government, or even giving a kind of a framework within which the county government should develop their infrastructure, especially in the health system, Mr. Speaker. We know, and I listen to my colleagues contribute to these statements, it is very sad, Mr. Speaker, the very fundamental right, which is basic health, has not been met because we failed as a country, we failed as county governments, and we failed as political leaders in this country to give a way forward. Mr. Speaker, it is very sad that we are coming to the end of our term in a couple of days, in a year's time, Mr. Speaker. We have not realized what we've been discussing since we came to this House, making devolution work. We have not realized what we've been arguing and debating in this House, making accountability, transparency, and most importantly, making service delivery to the mwananchi accessible to the people. Mr. Speaker, I would want to challenge ourselves. As we come to the tail end of our term, it is the high time that we sat down as leaders and put our heads together and agree that we must not use our youth again as goons, but we must use them to show them the way forward and to lead them to a country that they'll be able to live in without minding where they come from, because they'll have the services, they'll have the facilities available at the grassroots level, and this can only happen if the goodwill from the readership of this House and every other reader is concerted towards delivering service. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I support.
Before I call the next senator to speak, allow me to make this communication. Senator Fernandi, kindly take your seat. I would like to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 4 teachers and 50 students from Kababe Girls Secondary School in Nyamira County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. And on behalf of the Senate and on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence of a visiting delegation of 2 lecturers and 35 media students from Kabarak University in Nakuru County, who are seated in the public gallery. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. On behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will request the Senator for Nyamira County to extend a word of welcome to both delegations. You may proceed, Honorable Senator. Under 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, on my own behalf and on behalf of the other senators, I wish to extend a warm welcome to the delegation from Kebabe Girls School in Nyamira County, led by the history and government teacher, Peter Orina, and the students. Mr. Speaker, Kebabe is in North Mugirango constituency. It's a national girls' school, and we are very proud on the good work our teachers are doing. Mr. Speaker, to the girls, you are our future leaders. Believe in yourself, dream big. I believe that your visit will allow you to carry home some valuable lessons, and when you go back home, greet your parents and tell them that their senator is still working very hard for the county of Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to extend a warm welcome to the lecturers who are visiting the Senate from the distinguished Moi Kabarak University, the University of Kabarak, Mr. Speaker. And I hope that the 2 professors, Mr. Speaker, will get an opportunity to understand how this Senate is working very hard to ensure that there is good governance in this great country called Kenya. As you go back, we wish you a safe travel, and may you continue doing the good work you are doing at the University of Kabarak. The Speaker, with your permission, I will seek leave to go and greet the girls and the teachers in the customary way, and I'll ask the distinguished Senator of Nairobi, who is hosting the delegation, to accompany me as I greet the students and the teachers from Nyamira. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You may proceed to make your comments as you proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to make a comment on this issue of goonism. Mr. Speaker, we have witnessed, and I want to speak on what happened in my neighboring county of Kisii, where, Mr. Speaker, visitors led by the Linda Mwananchi group were attacked by people who would clearly be identified on video. We saw these videos circulate in the social media, Mr. Speaker, but to date, no arrests have been made. Mr. Speaker, when I went to bury that young man who was killed in Keumbu, my vehicle was also pelted with stones by goons while I was leaving that function. Having gone there in the company of Dr. Fred Matiang'i, having paid full fees for the students, for the children of the deceased who are students at university, having condoled the widow, having given our condolences in cash, Mr. Speaker, having addressed the meeting peacefully. Somebody was stationed, Mr. Speaker, as we were leaving the venue of the funeral. Mr. Speaker, My vehicle.
Majority Leader, what is your point of order?
My apologies to Senator Okongo Mgeni because I've interrupted his flow of thought. But Mr. Speaker, you know, he's discussing a very important matter. And as leaders, one of the ways in which we must show commitment to the country, that we care for the things that we speak for, is to be accurate and up to date with information surrounding such matters. Mr. Speaker, I don't know, there is a voice of an old lawyer man making noise in the house.
Senate Majority Leader, there is no old lawyer man in the Senate. We have honorable senators seated in this chamber. Can you conclude your...
Speaker is because he was not behaving like a senator. So, anyway, not to lose my trail of thought, Mr. Speaker, I said we need to be up to date with information on matters that we consider serious. And this matter of Gunism is a very live matter, as you said, Senator Mogeni, in the country. And why we need to be updated is so that as leaders we may ask ourselves, then what do we need to do? I heard Senator Mogeni say, Mr. Speaker, that in the incident in Keombu, nothing has been done. Unless the media outlets misled us, Mr. Speaker, I saw more than 8 suspects presented in court in Kisii High Court on the Monday following that incident, Mr. Speaker. I did not follow also, just like him, Mr. Speaker, to know what decision was taken on their matter, whether they were remanded or released on bail, Mr. Speaker. But is it in order to mislead the House, Mr. Speaker, that at least up to this point, nothing has been done?
Yes, Senator Mogeni.
Yes.
Is it your assertion?
No, Mr. Speaker, it's good to be informed, and I will challenge the senator for Kericho, my neighbor, to favor me with the evidence of the people who are charged in court, their names, and the case number.
So that when Senator Mogeni, that is more of a point of information.
That's what I'm saying. I would like to be informed. In fact, so that when I contribute next, favor me with the charge sheet. It will have the names of the people who have been charged in court, whether it makes reference to the incidents of Keombu. When I make my contribution next, I'll do so while well informed. But what is sad, Mr. Speaker, is that if you look at these clips, especially the one of Keombu, you will see uniformed police officers guarding or protecting the people who are attacking the convoy that was passing through Keombu, Mr. Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, that under our Constitution, and the Senator Cherage is here, I know he knows our Constitution like the back of his hand. Article 240, Mr. Speaker, was crafted very deliberately and said that the chairman of the National Security Council will be no other than the President of the Republic of Kenya. As we speak today, he is the chairman of the National Security Council. And he exercises supervisory authority over all security organs. And we know, Mr. Speaker, that the IG exercises command over all the police units. So we need to know, Mr. Speaker, who has authorized police officers, Mr. Speaker, to protect goons in this republic. Unless, Mr. Speaker, we want this country to degenerate. Because that's how Somalia began, Mr. Speaker, with gangs enjoying protection of the state, and Somalia failed. It's a stateless. It's now, you cannot call it a country that is as a rule of law. It has degenerated into anarchy. There is no rule of law in Somalia. Mr. Speaker, unless we do something, this country will degenerate into lawlessness. I'm challenging you, Mr. Speaker, to move a step further and direct, Mr. Speaker, that we summon the CS Interior and the PS to appear before us, Mr. Speaker, so that we get a proper explanation as to why we have these goons moving around and attacking people, Mr. Speaker. Today, it will be me. Tomorrow, I'm looking at you.
Senator Cheriot.
Mr. Speaker, did you hear Senator Mogeni's concluding remarks? They sounded like a threat to Senator Cherargei. But I know Senator Cherargei always refers to himself as a dry Kalenjin man. Mr. Speaker, he will be able to deal with that challenge if and when it comes. Mr. Speaker, I want to make two quick comments. One is on the statement by Senator Manzo. Sugar Board has a lot of explanation to do, Mr. Speaker. This matter that Senator Manzo is raising is not a light matter. I am a representative of sugarcane farmers, Mr. Speaker. And I know how much hard this House, together with the government, has put in to revive the sugar sector that was dead. If there are profiteers within the ranks of government, Mr. Speaker, who think they can turn us back to the days where we were importing almost to 70 to 80% of our sugar in this country, Mr. Speaker, so that our farmers are impoverished, Mr. Speaker, we cannot allow that to happen. As a House, I expect Senator Wakoli, because you equally represent sugarcane farmers from Bungoma, that you will treat this matter with the urgency it deserves. We must know what exactly are the conditions that this company met for them to be granted this quota, Mr. Speaker, what protection measures were done, and finally, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, is that if it is true as alleged that this company is importing raw sugar to process industrial sugar, Mr. Speaker, and we are being told by Sugar Board that the reason why they are being allowed is because there is no availability of raw sugar in the country, why can't they push our industries, Mr. Speaker, to manufacture it? Yet we know our sugar farmers, Mr. Speaker, have produced enough cane, Mr. Speaker, for that to happen. Therefore, it is my hope that Senator Wakoli and the team in the Agriculture Committee will treat this matter with the urgency that it deserves. Finally, Mr. Speaker, is on this issue of health. This is a very important subject, just like I was telling Senator Omogeni, Omogeni a few minutes ago, that on matters that are important, as a House, we must go beyond empty rhetoric. Mr. Speaker, I have said times without number that SHA is a medical insurance. SHA on its own cannot give us the intended desire to have a fully working health infrastructure in the country, Mr. Speaker. We must go beyond the empty rhetoric of just SHA is working or not working, Mr. Speaker. Our reforms in the health sector, Mr. Speaker, must go beyond empty rhetoric that we say in this House as legislators. We must ask ourselves, Mr. Speaker, why is it that if you find a group bringing a petition before Parliament, like there was one this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, 9 out of 10 times, you will find that it is health workers. That tells you that there is something wrong with how we designed the health architecture under this new constitution. And it is time for us as a House to propose a review and lead the country in the right direction. It is my hope, Mr. Speaker, that in the few days that are remaining, as a House of Senate, we...
Senator Manzo.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to comment on Senator Onyonga's request for statement. Mr. Speaker, the issue of organized gangs, Mr. Speaker, is sweeping across the country. And quite a number of counties have this sort of gangs, like the Green Army of Kisii, which is initially intended for good things in the county, but once in a while is used for the wrong purpose. Mr. Speaker, when it comes to organized gang, and in the case of Keumbu in Kisii, somebody is killed, Mr. Speaker, I expect the police to move with speed and do something very serious. Ordinarily, when there is murder, the DCI works very accurately. In this case, we have overwhelming evidence, recordings, whereby the people who did the recordings are willing to have them certified and can be used in a court of law. And therefore, the perpetrators should be arrested. And in this particular case, because they planned, Mr. Speaker, they should be charged with murder, even if it is the member of parliament, so that it serves as an example. Mr. Speaker, the moment a member of parliament will be charged with murder for having paid and organized people to kill somebody or manslaughter, then things will get serious in this country, Mr. Speaker, because it means then that person will lose the seat. And therefore, as much as we have supporters around us and we boost security, Mr. Speaker, it should be clear that no one should be injured, no vehicle should be injured, and no murder should be committed. Mr. Speaker, the moment you stone a motorcade like the one of the senator who just said his motorcade was stoned when coming out of a funeral, Mr. Speaker, that makes it even worse. It means when you are doing that, the organizer knows very well that it's a possibility of killing somebody, damaging property, Mr. Speaker, and therefore I really want to urge the police and the committee which are going to do this investigation that we make sure that the perpetrators of the Kisii incident are charged with murder of this particular person, so that in future members of parliament will stop organizing these gangs, and that it will be a deterrent during this election period, Mr. Speaker, to those who want to continue organizing gangs to pay stones or to injure opponents in an election, Mr. Speaker. We can see them forming up in many parts of the country. We have seen, even just a mere opponent organizing gangs to shout down in public meeting or to state obscenities and to mobilize Kenyans, in that direction. Mr. Speaker, I think that will really...
Senator Nyamo.
Mr. Speaker, I want to support the statement brought by Senator Onyonka on Goonism. And Mr. Speaker, this is one of those subjects that we must all agree, regardless of our political persuasions, because we are all exposed and nobody is safe. And all of us have been accused from both divides. We have been accused of using goons. And I am on record through my social media platforms having said that this culture that we are encouraging, if you think you can control goons today, tomorrow the highest bidder will control those goons and you will be at risk yourself. Mr. Speaker, we are a democracy and we should compete as politicians based on ideas and persuasions and not physical violence against your opponents, Mr. Speaker, in this day and age. And that is one of the reasons why women are scared to come out and take part in active politics, because of the intimidation of violence, Mr. Speaker. Myself, I am self-confessed coward. Where I see violence, I run, I take off, because I cannot match up. You win. If you want to use violence against me, you win. And so, Mr. Speaker, not just in Kisii, in Nairobi we had an incident where a bodyguard of a PS shot a young man. It was very unfortunate that we lost that young man, but that was a death that could have been avoided. And both ways, we need to speak to our supporters, because some of these people we are calling goons are just our supporters who we talk to through phones and give them some instructions that predispose other people, Mr. Speaker. I also want to make short comment on the statement by Mwenda Gataya on the state of dispensaries that are incomplete in the country. Mr. Speaker, dispensaries are the first line of contact with Mwananchi, with the healthcare system. That is after the CHPs. And it is very sad that we continue to have delayed dispensary projects without any explanation. We do not know if the issue is funding or if it is policy bottlenecks or whatever that is happening. And we would want the Committee for Health to identify what is it exactly that is causing this problem across the country. In Nairobi...
1 minute, Honorable Senator, to conclude your thoughts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have Lakisama dispensary, we have one in Karen, another in Mabatini, that have stalled on years on end. We need to know what the issue is so that Mwananchi doesn't have to go long distances or they don't have to crowd the higher hospitals. When I was growing up, dispensaries used to work very well, and we should return to those times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, we have expended the 15 minutes that I had allocated to this session. We'll therefore move to the next order. Before that, Honorable Senators, allow me, pursuant to Standing Order 45-2, to rearrange today's order paper. We move to order number 17. And then maybe thereafter we can resume the normal floor as contained in today's order paper. Clerk, you may proceed to call that order.
Order number 17, the Mining Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2025, second reading.
Senator Karen Nyamu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the Mining Amendment Bill 2025. This bill is premised on a very simple concept, Mr. Speaker. This country is endowed with minerals across the country. We have gold in Western, we have some in Kilifi, and all across this country in Kwale.
Senator Karen Nyamu, you need to move and then you can make the comments.
Thank you for the guidance. I am guided, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the Mining Bill 2025 for the second reading.
You may proceed, Honorable Senator, to now make your comments.
Thank you. I think I had begun moving, and I was saying that the bill is premised on a very simple concept that we have a lot of minerals in this country. We are endowed with coal in Cumberland. We are endowed with minerals in Kilifi. We have gold in Western Kenya. We have oil, etc., Mr. Speaker. And incidentally, I don't know if it's a coincidence, in most of these places that happen to have these rich minerals, they happen to be in very poverty-stricken areas, Mr. Speaker. And it is a very sad scenario where we see billions of dollars being sunk in those areas, and the investors come, make their money, pay their taxes, employ foreigners in their operations, and leave our people in those communities just the same way they left them, Mr. Speaker. I think it is equity. And this bill is premised also on equity. It is only fair that we have a law. We amend the mining bill to ensure or to provide for a framework where the proceeds of mining in this country are shared with communities that host these operations, Mr. Speaker, so that they can also be part of their home and community and what they have to offer, because that is their homeland, Mr. Speaker. We also need a provision of the minimum number of employees in those operations from the local community, so that we don't have a scenario that these foreigners, because most of them are foreigners, almost 99%, come with their workers from out of the country, while we can have our locals even have skill transfer so that it can benefit the country with skills and expertise in the long run. And so, Mr. Speaker, mine is just to urge this House that we are representatives of the people, and this is exactly what we are called upon to do, to ensure that they are not unfairly taken advantage of by people who come and have operations in their areas and live without benefiting them in any way. And some of the ways that they can benefit the locals is have infrastructure projects, they can have schools, education projects, and any other depending on the need-to-need basis of that area, Mr. Speaker. And with those few points to move the bill, I would like to request Senator Cheryl Gay of Nandi County to second. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the Mining Amendment Bill of 2025, sponsored by the distinguished Nairobi delegation, Senator Karen Nyamu, Mr. Speaker, sir, and the incoming Woman Representative of Nairobi City County. Speaker, let me make the following questions. You know, some of us, Mr. Speaker, we are great supporters of women and girl child to be empowered, especially in leadership. And I'm happy on the issue of mining, and I'm happy, I know Senator Kalwale should be in the House, Senator Mwaruma, and even yourself, especially Coast Region, Western Kenya and Nandi, we have a lot of minerals. So, Speaker, I don't know what is the curse with the natural resources we have as a country. When you read the book by Martin Meredith, The State of Africa, one of the things that Africa is endowed is the natural resources, Mr. Speaker. But it has become the source of the curse. And therefore, Martin Meredith, in his book, State of Africa, highlights that Africa is one of the unique continents with humongous and huge resources that we have as a country, Mr. Speaker, including even other natural resources like the beautiful, pristine beaches in coastal region, which are natural. And like when you go to Copacabana in Brazil, I don't know whether Senator Eddie has had a privilege to travel to Brazil, and others, which is not pristine, Mr. Speaker. I know he only travels to Santorini. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to make is that Africa, and more so Kenya, we are endowed with resources, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to congratulate Senator Karen for being thoughtful. Mr. Speaker, in the last session, and I know then you are the governor of Kilifi, in the last session we fought, and if Senator Mwaruma, Senator Faki can remember, and Senator Manso was still in lower house, and Senator Onyonga, I really fought very hard on the issue of Karepe gold mine, Mr. Speaker, in Chemase Chemelil ward in Tindret, where an investor had taken advantage of my people, where Mse Cheseret Korir had leased the land for 10 years, but he was not getting value up to date of the gold that is in his land. Because Karepe gold mine found it wise to flourish and vanquish the owners of the land, Mr. Speaker. We must protect, in fact, the gold in Chemelil, Chemase, especially for Mse Cheseret, has been a curse rather than a blessing to the family, Mr. Speaker. Even the Kaborogin areas in Aldai sub-county, Aldai constituency, Mr. Speaker, and even Tindret constituency, we have similar problems, Mr. Speaker. Everywhere you see a resource called gold, there is always conflict. You got the issue of Shanta gold in Malinya, in Kakamega County, we have a problem. Here in Kilimapesa, which is attached to Angata Baragoi, Mr. Speaker, the reason there is a lot of violence and land clashes in Angata Baragoi, Mr. Speaker, is tied up to the rare earth minerals, Mr. Speaker. You go to your region, northern Kenya, not the coastal region, the same problem that you see about absentee landlords, the fight about land ownership, is only attached to the rare earth minerals that is there, Mr. Speaker. The sad reality is the bourgeois and a few individuals only benefit from these resources at the expense of the local communities. In fact, the idea say, Mr. Speaker, where these minerals are found, there is highest level of poverty and disenfranchisement, Mr. Speaker. You have seen what is happening in West Pokot. When gold was found, there has been a lot of instability in that region. And there is a sponsored banditry attacks, especially that is attached to these rare earth minerals, Mr. Speaker. So I want to appeal that this amendment, the communities, and I'm happy Senator has proposed, and we have said in local content, Mr. Speaker, that 70%, which is captured in this amendment of clause 190A, Mr. Speaker, 70% of the revenue should go to the national government, 20% should go to the county government, 10% should go to the local community and be used to uplift the local affirmative decisions like health center, roads, schools, and hospitals, Mr. Speaker. That was the envisage of 10%, Mr. Speaker. The reading, and I'm happy Senator has brought flesh into the mining rules of 2015. Because, Mr. Speaker, the reading of mining rules of 2015 is that local development community would be gazetted so that they can take care of the 10% that will be generated from the local content on revenue that is coming from mineral royalties, Mr. Speaker. That I'm happy that it was a rule. Mr. Speaker, it has been given a chance now by this amendment. Because then the local, and I'm surprised, you know, Mr. Speaker, when you look at transitional clauses of the Constitution, the provincial administration was supposed to be phased out. But we are sneaking them behind the door. Because one of the conditions in the local development agreement committees, colleagues, who are supposed to be used that 10% allocated from the revenue, would be the ones that determine how the money will be used by the local community, especially the 10% from the mining royalties, Mr. Speaker. And looking at the mining rules of 2015 and the Mining Act, we are saying, and I'm happy it has been captured by this amendment on sharing of mineral royalties among communities, we are saying, before you give a mining license, a mining permit to any person who wants to mine, either in Kilimapesa, either in Ikolomani, either in Chemase, either in Taita, either in Migori, you must attach with these conditions that they must gazette the local community so that the local community can get value, Mr. Speaker. I'm saying this, Mr. Speaker. Number 3, that from 2016 up to now, the National Treasury, led by one of the illustrious sons from Senator Migori's region, Senator C.S. John Badi, they have not released to counties, including Kilifi, 2.9 billion Kenya shillings. That is meant as a mineral royalties to our counties and revenue to be used, Mr. Speaker. I think as a country, 2.9 billion. We normally do disbursement, we do division of revenue, Mr. Speaker, we do equitable shareable, we do additional, we do conditional, we do all those. We capture them, Mr. Speaker, but that money has yet to be released. And we must call CS John Badi to order. Because from 2016 up to now, 2.9 billion has not been released to counties, which is supposed to assist them, Mr. Speaker. And even, Mr. Speaker, for example, Nandi, in this financial year in our location, we are projecting the royalties that will go to Nandi is 17.9 million. Nandi has not received 55.1 million up to today in historical 2.9 billion Menbo counties. Mr. Speaker, let me play the devil's advocate. Because we cannot be blaming counties for not performing, yet they are not receiving enough resources. For example, in Chemelil Chemase, if they are to get almost 60, 70 million, the people of Chemelil Chemase will do a dispensary, will do a road, will do classrooms, will do water, will do electricity, courtesy of 60 million plus, Mr. Speaker. So we must be fair. We must fight, Mr. Speaker. And we must fight as a house. We must be protectors of devolution under Article 96. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to challenge colleagues. You know, Mr. Speaker, in 1990, when Nelson Mandela was released after 3 decades from Robben Island, he made a very powerful statement. He made in 1964. He repeated in 1990 when he was released by the apartheid regime then, and said he was ready to fight both white and black domination. I want to challenge members in the name of Nelson Mandela, who is the father of liberation in Africa, that we must fight for these funds to be released to the counties, Mr. Speaker, so that we fight against this non-release. Because, Mr. Speaker, reading of Article 219 says, because I'm trying to give flesh to this amendment by Senator Karen, is that when money has been appropriated by Article 219, it should be released without undue delay, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, I'm making these comments knowing that you come from a region where minerals is very key to the development of your region, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, looking at this, in fact, the grant removal, we should make a condition, Mr. Speaker, before we renew, and I remember the former minister who comes from a region, Najib Alala, fought for very long, and the late Juma, over the licensing of some of the mineral sites and gemstones in your region, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we must attach the renewal and condition of mining license and permit to agree with us that the communities, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, looking at the 190C, is just there will be a chairperson, 3 men, 3 women, and secretary, Mr. Speaker, and of course the remuneration should be done by SRC conditions, Mr. Speaker, and ensure their work, Mr. Speaker, so that the colleagues can get the gist as I second this bill in the amendment of clause number 190C, is that this committee will be gazetted. And I'm happy, and I know people like my sister, Senator Ogola, Senator Kavindu, Senator Montet, Senator Karen, Senator Commissioner Joyce, they are happy that in this board we are trying to form, it will be 50-50, 3 men and 3 women. So it will sail through, Mr. Speaker, because it will receive a lot of support, especially, and I suspect, because a secretary is always a woman, so they will even have 4 against 3. So this is the first time women might have the majority in this board, and we hope in future, even in cabinet, Mr. Speaker, I'm aware there is a ruling that the High Court said that the cabinet is not properly constituted because there is a gender problem, Mr. Speaker. But I hope in the future, because the issue of gender progress and parity is something that we can achieve. If we can do this at the small board level, Mr. Speaker, it means we can achieve even to the highest office in the land. And that is important. And I want to challenge women of this country with tremendous respect, Mr. Speaker, that even as we push them for equality and equity in boardrooms, they must come out and run for those offices, Mr. Speaker. I want to challenge, and people like Senator Kavindu have divided the votes. They have been elected severally. Even the governor there is a lady. The speaker is a lady. I'm told it's called Machakos Girls. You go to Nakuru. Yes, and she's also saying me she's coming, Mr. Speaker. Senator Joyce Korir, Commissioner, is running for Bomet Central. Senator Karen Nyamu is running for Nairobi Women Rep. Senator Mutinda is running for Nairobi Women Rep. Senator Montet is going to the executive. Senator Ogola is going to the executive. Mr. Speaker, we must be challenged that as we push for equity, and Senator Chimera, Mr. Speaker, I don't know, I'm told you are the sponsor, but he's running for the Kwale Senator, Mr. Speaker. But I don't know how true it is. I just heard in streets, Mr. Speaker. But he's our son-in-law. Mr. Speaker, I hope he has told you that he married from my place. So if he doesn't take care, we might return the dowry. Mr. Speaker, the chairperson, and therefore this board, we are trying to ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we push and ensure there is equity and representation. And I hope that this board will be gazetted within 14 days of the election. This, Mr. Speaker, the board that will oversee these mineral rights or royalties in our communities, Senator Onyonga, should be done after the election. It must be gazetted so that it's a legal body. And even the allowances will be done through SRC. So I want members to get it. So this will be just as serious. And if you want your person to be a member of the board, they must be elected by the community, Mr. Speaker. Functions in article, clause number 190, this will be my last remark, Mr. Speaker, is they will be able to consult Article 10 on national values and principles of good governance. Clause number 190D, colleagues. Article 10 of the Constitution, national values and principles of good governance. One of the tenets of good governance and principles, colleagues, is public participation. The role of this committee that will be formed under clause number 190 on it is called Community Project Implementation Committees. Community Project Implementation Committees, their role is under Article 10 of National Values and Principles of Good Governance. They must ensure, Mr. Speaker, sir, that they must do what we call public consultation. Mr. Speaker, public participation is now a key ingredient. I have heard people saying, and I know, especially I heard somebody arguing that, Mr. Speaker, that public participation should be shortened because it is delaying implementation of projects. I am a different view, Mr. Speaker. Article 10 provides for public participation. We must ensure public participation is part of the ingredient and values of the Kenyan system of governance, Mr. Speaker. We cannot just say, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we have governance, and I'm having a minority leader who is affected by issues of mining also. He comes from his region, Senator Stewart Mazzai is in the House. We must do public participation. We must identify the projects. Mr. Speaker, the moment we stop listening to the people, we start failing as a society. The moment we stop listening to the people, we start failing as a society. The moment we stop listening to the people, we start failing as a society. The moment we stop listening to the people, we start failing as a society. The people, they say, Foxy Populi, Foxy God. The voice of the people is the voice of God, Mr. Speaker. And I know Senator Gavindu is happy that I'm mentioning God. In consultation, we must be able to ask the people of Kilifi, if they get royalties, what are they supposed to do in Kilifi? For example, we must ask the people of Kwale. I don't know whether Nairobi has minerals, but I'm told Nairobi they are gold diggers, so we never know. They can be included in that category. So I don't know. I'm told Nairobi they are gold diggers, so they might be doing their gold digging. So when we want to do in Taita, where my brother Senator Mwaruma comes from, we must ask. Even Senator Onyonga, I don't know whether bananas can qualify as a natural resource. But yeah, you have soapstone in the region. Yes, the only soapstone in Kisii. We must sit and agree, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, therefore, this community project implementation, their work is consult members, monitor the implementation of projects. They must be there to ensure those projects are completed. Mr. Speaker, convene community forums and monitor utilization of funds. I will ask the sponsor of this motion, the distinguished Nairobi delegation, to bring an amendment to, after we can include OAG, because under Article 229, the Office of the Auditor General must do audit of all public funds, so that when these projects are undertaken, this amendment, the OAG must have a role, so that we can get, even, Mr. Speaker, sir, we don't need to bring the reports to the House. We can ensure those reports, Mr. Speaker, sir, are being brought to the House, either County Assembly or Parliament, so that we can see whether the money has been used very well by community project implementation committees, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and of course, section number 33, we have talked about the election. I can see my light is there, Mr. Speaker. What I'm just saying, colleagues, in an upshot and in summary, Mr. Speaker, and in summary, is that we must give the best, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that this law on the issue of community development, the community implementation, the royalties that our people get, Mr. Speaker, must get value. Let the gold in Nandi mean something for our people. Let soapstone in Kisii mean something for our people. Let the rare earth minerals in Taita, in Kilifi, in Kwale mean something for our people, Mr. Speaker, so that we can ensure the natural resources become a blessing, they don't become a curse. The way state of Africa, writer Martin Meralita have highlighted, Mr. Speaker. We must sacrifice this resource, Mr. Speaker. This is the resource that should bring development in our country. Colleagues, we must sit and ensure that when we want to bring something and push for the immediate release of 2.9 billion that is supposed to go to counties, so that when we oversight counties, they have enough money to do their job, Mr. Speaker, so that we don't play and also just oversight counties without giving them enough resources. And I think, Mr. Speaker, and that is why we must ensure, and I want, there was a CMCA who was attacked called Lembande, Siocha. I don't know whether he has recovered by goons, and no one has been arrested, Mr. Speaker. They must be arrested because he is a representative of the where soapstone is found, Mr. Speaker. And even this issue of goons, we must eradicate. I think as a country, we don't no longer these goons, Mr. Speaker. But somebody was telling me goons are also voters. So I don't know what situation we'll be able to handle, because I'm told goons are also voters. But as a country, in interest, if today the people of Ikolomani, the people of Kisii, the people of Nandi, the people of Kwale, the people of Kilifi, the people of Mombasa will have access to development, we'll not have goons in this country. If they can get value for their resources, Senator Onyonga, through the Speaker, there will be never goons in this country. Because if everybody can access service and development, Mr. Speaker, there will never be goons. The only problem we have today is poverty. Kenyans cannot get 3 square meals, Mr. Speaker. Even the children who are seated up there, your distinguished guest, most of them don't have school fees. They don't have books.
They have many challenges in their schools. I know you have been a member of National Assembly in the lower house, and you are one of the best in management of CDF. It has been a challenge that infrastructure in our schools continue to be a problem. The only solution is to release this money, these royalties, so that we can use to develop school infrastructure, ensure school facilities, so that your distinguished pupils and students who are up there, Mr. Speaker, can get an opportunity to get the best infrastructure and learning. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, allow me to second the Mining Amendment Bill 2025, and I yield back the mic.
The mic was not given to you permanently, of course. So you have no authority to hold the mic. So, honorable senators, I propose the question that the Mining Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 22 of 2025, be now read a second time. So I open the floor for members to contribute, make their contributions, and I'll start with Senator Onyonka.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to first of all give my brother and friend, Cherargei, accolades. My brother, today you have outperformed yourself. Kenya will be proud of you with this performance. Mr. Speaker, the issue of our resources, especially our minerals, has been a matter that we have talked about historically. It's a matter that is so amazing when you actually listen to the detail of what's happening to our minerals in this country, Mr. Speaker. You get shocked. One of the things I want to say, Mr. Speaker, at some point I sat with somebody when I traveled to the US, and this gentleman is a Kenyan. He works at the State Department. He told me, actually, the minerals we have, especially the rare minerals, can actually pay all our debt. He said the US government has actually done analytics. They have checked on the data. They have looked at all the rocks and every science that requires to show Kenya what we have. And they have actually concluded that what we have in Rima Springs at the coast would actually give Kenya about 50 to 60 billion US dollars. I hope, Honorable Cherargei, you can be converting that for me into shillings so that Kenyans can understand. But, Mr. Speaker, the problem we have is simple. I will try and help my brother Cherargei where he stops. From some information which, honorable members, you would agree with me that recently I happened to be quite close with Honorable Matiang'i. And in this case, Honorable Cherargei, I'm not talking about his presidential bid. I am talking about the last action he conducted as a member of the Uhuru cabinet. Mr. Speaker, they did a mapping and data on all the minerals in Kenya and their value. All. That is available in the office of the president and the Ministry of Minerals. All. They have done that before they left. That is actually what they did. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, if you look at what we have about these minerals, every region and every county actually has been mapped. And every county has got these minerals and their values are known. But you see what we do, Mr. Speaker, once we know that this information is available, that is when, of course, many of our people in office, some people in this house here, some people in big places, what have they done? They then go and look for Chinese companies and European companies whom they bring after forming private companies which they go and register in the Cayman Islands, in the Panama, and they hide the true owners of these companies. And that is how our minerals are actually being siphoned in value. Number two, honorable members, we had mining taking place in Kwale, Tiomin, which was one of the most highly valued items. In fact, they never even used to process anything. They just used to carry the material itself in ships. After they actually picked everything of what was Tiomin, and they had collected something close to about 15 billion US dollars, the story ended there. In fact, if you talk to many of our people who are connected in government, and some of them who have been there for years, and some who have been out of government, they will tell you that the reason why Jacob Juma actually died was because the minerals that he was going to be given the rights to, and the Australian company that he was going to do business with, Mr. Speaker, was going to get something like 125 billion shillings. So the fight which took place was about the minerals in Kwale. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the issue that Honorable Cherargei has raised, the Constitution says we must have public hearings. And yet every time some of these things are coming up, every time we find our minerals, Honorable Boni Halwale and Madam Muma in this house have constantly been going to Ikolomani to try and find out why there is a problem with the gold that is being mined there. That gold has never benefited the people of Ikolomani. But you find their contractors, their dealers, Chinese companies, European companies, go to Migori. You see how much mining we are having in Migori. You'll be shocked. If you see what is there, there are companies that are mining, but you see what happens. Number one, the contracts that we sign are hidden. The values of the minerals which are there, nobody knows. The number of brokers you see selling those mines are incredible. And yet, if you go to the mines in Migori, you see how many people are dying because the conditions under which this mining is taking place are unpalatable. Mr. Speaker, even the environmental degradation that is taking in some places where this mining is taking place is shocking. But we will never talk about it. The committees that we have here, which are supposed to investigate and find out what to do, including NEMA, who are supposed to give us an evaluation of climate mismanagement and the degradation taking place, nobody wants to talk about why. Because people take kickbacks. They will never challenge anybody who is making money out of these mining places. And Mr. Speaker, you come to the next one. Mr. Speaker, I know this house, we've never talked about it, but it's true. I know oil is being mined in Turkana. A company has already been given the mining of that oil. These companies, as we speak, siphoning off and taking that oil into Mombasa. Nobody knows where it's going for. Why do we behave like this? Why is it that we cannot basically come up and say, listen, we know the oil exists. As we are talking about, we agree. The value of this oil is this. The people of Turkana are entitled to this 30% that we are talking about. And yet, as we've said before, over and over and over, we, the elites, have managed. I know Honorable Cherargei knows it, but he cannot talk. Honorable, some of our friends, through you, Mr. Speaker, are the ones who have gone and bought land adjacent to where the oil is being what? Is being picked from. And they're the ones who have changed the value of that oil, and they keep saying the oil cannot pay for itself. Nonsense. There's no oil that cannot pay for itself. Mr. Speaker, the point I wanted to make.
Yes, Senator Chalege, what is your point of order? Just a minute, just you have your seat, Senator.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, my apologies. I know I'm interrupting the trail of thought of my brother. One, can he, is it in order, can he restrict himself to the rules of debate of using parliamentary language? Number two, understanding order 101, contents of speech, and understanding 105, to insinuate that I know people who have bought land to where oil is, and I'm not speaking, Mr. Speaker. Is it a statement of fact? Because, you know, Mr. Speaker, there are many visitors and Kenyans are watching live. And you know my standing in the country. I am a future presidential candidate. He is threatening my future standing, Mr. Speaker. He says, in order, can he withdraw and apologize?
Mr. Speaker, on the first point, I wanted to say nonsense means it doesn't make sense. And the second one, Mr. Speaker, that I wanted to make is that Honorable Cherargei, I didn't say that you know this personally. What I was implying is that you've heard it severally. You've talked to some friends who say, I don't know who it is, but it's being done. So I wasn't passing any aspersions to you. because you're my brother and I respect you so much. But Mr. Speaker, the point I was making is we have refused to accept the truth about our mineral distribution, our data that exists, what we own in this country and what we are doing with it. Mr. Speaker, I'll give you a small example. And you see, we keep ignoring certain things. I remember it was about 3 years ago. The president spoke when he was in Kisii. He said right now, we don't want to carry our raw minerals, put them into ships and take them wherever we can. We have to start talking and increasing our capacities at value addition. So what have we done? You look at the Kisii soapstone. County government gives a certificate and clearances to a Chinese company that they are cutting and picking up that soapstone at about 50,000 metric tons a week. They take the soapstone away from Kisii. And Mr. Speaker, the soapstone is the only other stone in the world that is like that, except one that is in Brazil and another one in Canada. On the African continent, if you look at that stone, if there was value addition and it was industrialized, we shouldn't be having this maize, which is full of gold, which somebody can steal, and yet you can actually design and bring in soapstone, which is looking exactly and as beautiful as this maize, which is here. Mr. Speaker, another point I wanted to raise, we never visit these areas. We have had severally the conservancies that exist in our republic, which are private-owned, long-term agreement and leases which have been signed, where foreigners are owning these pieces, this land, 10, 20,000. Who doesn't remember that there was something called Ole Pajeta? The truth is, that's where the minerals are, Mr. Speaker. What is actually happening in those farms has nothing to do with tourism and conservancies to keep animals growing so that tourists can increase. Those are the areas that have been mapped, which have got tons and tons of materials, whether it is gold, whether it's diamonds, rare minerals, whether it is palladium, look at, like my colleague, Honorable Cherargei has said, why is it that every time you have war in West Pokot, why is it that every time in Turkana areas, and when you go there, you find people, they tell you, that place, don't go to Todojang, don't go there. This is where the big boys are. They are mining gold, they are picking. In fact, Kenya, one of the issues that I cannot verify, one of the information that we have, is that Kenya does have uranium. Where are we selling our uranium to? Because I started adding 2 and 2 together. When you find somebody saying, and it's a very good idea, even though the people of CIA said, no, we don't want to have, what do you call it? A uranium enrichment plant, which then would produce electricity for us using. There is a reason. We actually have the necessary materials to produce our own power, be self-sufficient, which can be sold cheaply to Kenyans and companies that can employ our youth and make sure that the country grows and prospers. But what do we do, Mr. Speaker? Immediately we find that there is a mineral in Ukambani that can be sold, whether it's Tanzanite, wherever it is. In fact, one of the biggest experts, and you will allow me to mention here without seeking his permission, is Honorable Mudama. He understands where each and every precious mineral in Kenya does exist. But do we ever talk to individuals like that? No, because this is being done under the table. Yeah, I'm talking about Mzee. My point is, Mr. Speaker, we need to be a little bit more serious. The committee is responsible, must be able to visit our areas. Let the ministry and the office of the president tell us what mapping has been done, which minerals do we have in which area, and what are their values. Let us get Kenyan experts, they're there, who will come and tell us the minerals you have got can be processed like this. If you have private companies coming to process those minerals, Mr. Speaker, can we agree on how we manage the financials? How we manage the resources which are supposed to go to our villages, because our villages are actually suffering because we are mismanaging their activities and their resources. Mr. Speaker, the last item I'd like to put is, you look at our licensing. Everything we do when we are licensing people who are coming to pick up minerals in Kenya is all placed in opacity. You will never know which companies are taking the minerals. You will never know who the owners are. You will not find out whether they have ever paid taxes or not. And yet, this is normal. This is very normal for our country. So what we are saying, can we just mature up? Some of the noise you get about how we have no jobs for youth, and these are things that can be fixed. These are opportunities which are low-lying. This is what I expect the UDA government to have done as of now. By now, I wish the president would have appointed the Honorable Cherargei to be the guy managing the minerals. I would believe you in your pronouncements if you were the minister. But then I know that Honorable Tom Ojienda would want you to be the Minister for Interior. Or in that case, Mama Mudama, Senator Mudama, Honorable Mudama could also, because she's an expert and she's done that for 45 years. All right? So, Mr. Speaker, finally, I would like to say that I think let this House and the committee that is sitting, the amendments that are required on this bill, we should look at them, discuss them. If there are further amendments that we need to include, let us try and clean up. We are a bit untidy. We are a bit disorganized deliberately. We are a bit dishonest with our people. And yet, if you ask, in fact, if you Google Kenyan minerals which are available, you will see the list, even Meru, Mr. Speaker. There is so much, so much. Look at what is happening to our country. We import more ceramic materials from outside the country, Italy, Spain, to Kenya for construction in the East Africa region. Go and look at the stones in Meru, ceramic stones. Look at the stones in Western Kenya, in Kakamega. Why are we not producing ceramic floor tiling? Why are we not producing ceramic for kitchen finishes? And yet we keep talking about how we are net importer of everything, including toothpicks, razor blades. And yet we are saying, Mr. Speaker, we are unable to employ our young people. Where are our young people going to go if we as a community of people who have been given the responsibility in this House to clean up and make sure that we give our people opportunities? I hope my colleagues in this House will clean up this bill and make sure we give Kenyans at least a good document by Christmas. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for those very many remarks.
Very well, but with my knowledge on natural resources management, I'm aware that we have a whole document on the mineral survey. That has been done. It is with the ministry, and any senator wishing to know, it is done. It is done. It is with the ministry, and I'm aware with full knowledge that it is available. So, Senator Onyonka, Senator Chalagay, you can visit the Ministry of Mining. If you want to be a prospector, you know where to get where you should go for the prospecting. So let us have now the owner of the Ngondi in the Western, Senator Boni Karwale and Dr. Boni Karwale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to beg my young sister, Karen Nyam, Senator, to withdraw this bill in its entirety, because the bill seeks to amend the Mining Act to provide for legislative framework for the utilization of mineral royalties for the benefit of communities where exploitation of mineral resources occur. Realities. In 1960, Mr. Speaker, the only African head of government who understood neo-colonialism was Patrice Lumumba in DRC. And on Independence Day, when he was asked to speak, he told the King of Belgium that, "Sir, we are no longer your monkeys."
Patrice Lumumba. Fast forward, here in Tanzania, John Pombe Magufuli, he stood up to neocolonialism and refused. What happened to both presidents? They paid with their lives. So, to massage the egos of the neo-colonialists who are still colonizing us economically by accepting something called royalties is to dance on the grave of Patrice Lumumba and John Pombe Magufuli. All African countries, all African parliaments, in the Pan-African Parliament, in IALA, and in the Senate of Kenya, we must push heads of state so that when they are elected to office, they do not engage in deals with those people who exploit us in the name of saying, after all, we are paying you royalties, and after all, we will do some affirmative action in terms of digging boreholes, building nursery schools, and building dispensaries. It is nonsense. We do not want African countries to receive royalties from these colonies. We want to do business with them. We want them to come with their sophisticated technology, and then we meet midway, Mr. Speaker, with our resource so that 50% they get from their technology, technological input, and us, because of udongo wetu, quote unquote, we get the other 50%. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to draw the attention to the amount of theft that goes on in the Republic of Kenya when the so-called royalties are being shared. It's a lie, dear colleagues. Here it is. The bill was here. We passed it last month or months before. It shows that, one, Nairobi received royalties from mining of 12.4 million. What mining takes place in Nairobi? Which mineral? Mr. Speaker, they go ahead and they say, Kericho, they give them 1.2 million, not much. But when you look at the geospatial data, Kericho has no minerals. It is classified as a place that is still undergoing exploration to see if any minerals can be established. Mr. Speaker, you go to Nandi County, they received 121 million shillings, Mr. Speaker. And Nandi, I know Nandi. Mr. Speaker, there is only one gold mining site in Nandi called Kareba. So they get 121 million shillings. But Kakamega, the heart of gold mining, how much are we given here? 58 shillings. It is here, 58 shillings. So the treasury mandarins want the senator of Kakamega to be cowardly and say that all is well because the gold that we get from Kakamega, when they distribute money arbitrarily at treasury, because a son of our region does not sit at the treasury, they give Nandi, which has got very small amount of gold. Kakamega, don't inform me you've had your time. The senator of Nandi, I respect you. Respect me, please. Mr. Speaker, because of the tribalism that is driving the Republic of Kenya.
Point of clarification, or what is it, Senator? Okay. No, just allow to Senator Mudama. Yes, Senator Chelege.
What point is that, Mr. Speaker?
He has a point of order.
Mr.
So
Speaker,
let him
under
execute it.
standing 105, I have tremendous respect for my neighbor and I appreciate that they should get more than 58 shillings. But is he aware that Nandi, that gold mine, is generating 1.4 billion US dollars, and they pay 250 million to KRA in every financial year. So to equate that Nandi is getting more because of other reasons is unfair to the people of Chemelil, Chemase, where gold is. So I wish he would be factual. I sympathize that I agree that Kakamega should get more than Nandi, but we have substantive gold. That is why we have a right that we are even getting less. Mr. Speaker.
Also,
yes,
you know,
Mr.
the
Speaker, I think that qualifies for a point of information.
Sorry, Senator Boni Karwari.
Yes.
You know, the chair does not participate in debates, but maybe you will check your data whether Kakamega got 58 shillings.
Here it is. This is a document of, this is the county government additional allocation bill schedule showing county by county, including Meru. Mr. Speaker, that was a point of information, and I want to thank you for informing me about what it is that you produce. But please, Senator Nandi, you can only inform me on matters of dairy farming, but not on gold mining. We were born and bred in the gold mines of Rosterman, in the gold mines of Shigalagala, in the gold mines of Malinya, in the gold mines of Bushiangala, in the gold mines of Isolo, in the gold mines of Machiris. We are the ones who are today sitting, Mr. Speaker, according to geospatial data, sitting on gold worth 658 billion shillings. And they give us 58 shillings. And the minister, Hassan Ali Joho, and his peers, they intimidate the people of Ikolomani, Mr. Speaker, with some dog-eared police officers there, that unless you succumb, we are going to tear gas you, we will shoot you. Yes, so far they have killed 6 of our sons, but we are telling them, don't teach our children to become militant. Because we have told them that if they must pay with their lives, as they are paying, in defense of that resource of 658 billion shillings, then history will judge us fairly, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, today, as we speak, the country saw the president was announcing giving compensation to people who had been shot by the police when demonstrating. All the children who were shot by the police when they were demonstrating against this injustice, not a single one of them was given a shilling. This is what has made the government of William Ruto very unpopular in Western Province. And this is why now, everywhere in Western Province, they are saying, Sisi ni Sifuna. It is not a joke. These are issues, real issues of life and death. Mr. Speaker, I want to persuade this House that let this bill be stepped down. We talk to the National Assembly, we cut the shackles of neocolonialism and ask ourselves, how do we want to do the business of exploiting mineral resources? We have to, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, for the reason that if you discovered a mineral resource in the US the way they have, in the UK the way they have, the oil they have, and you attempted to go there as an African and tell them that you wanted to pay them royalty, you'll be lucky to come out alive. Why do we allow them to come this way and they walk away with our wealth? Many of you, especially Professor Tom Ogienda here, you've been to the House of the Lords. House of Lords. You have seen the throne is a 20 feet tall seat made out of nothing but pure gold. 20 feet. And that gold, Mr. Speaker, came from Ghana, it came from South Africa, and it came from Rosterman in Ikolomani. We, the politicians, we are refusing to say no. Because you are afraid you'll die the way Magufuli was killed and the way Patrice Lumumba was killed. Masinde Muliro told us that if you're going into politics, you must be prepared to either die, go to jail, or die a pauper. If you are not prepared for any of the above, then you have no business being in politics. Politics is not a child's play. Colleagues, let us defend our mineral resource. All of you, you have been to Kwale. Kwale, in this list, was paid 804 million shillings royalties. The people at the treasury, because of the shame of what they are doing to Kwale, they paid them 800 million so as to gag the governor, gag the senator, gag the members of parliament, and gag MCS, so that they are not challenged on this quantum. The levels of poverty in Kwale are amongst the highest in Africa, and yet they sit on rich mineral resources. It is because of this, Mr. Speaker, that we are stepping out and saying, let us change the country. Let us change the government so that we can have a government that is, Mr. Speaker, responsive to this exploitation. Mr. Speaker,
Senator Boni Karora, do you wish to be informed by
yes,
Senator Chimera?
The young Chimera is from Kwale. I know he has something about Kwale that I don't have.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, I just want to inform my good friend and my father, Senator Dr. Boni Alwale. At first, I come from, he was a med soup when I was being born at Msambweni Hospital, many years down the line. So I consider him as my father. That one, I come from Kwale County, and two, that we did not receive 854 million. We actually received 1.2 billion as our true share of the royalties monies from the national government. It was not monies meant to gag any leadership from Kwale County, Mr. Speaker. So I don't think the good senator is right to say the funds were meant to gag leaders. But the idea was we were receiving our respective share of the royalties allocations, Mr. Speaker. Thank you. I hope he's duly informed.
Thank you, Senator, for informing me. I go by the law. You know, because you are new, you don't know these things. The bill that distributed this schedule became law as soon as we passed it and the president assented to it. So according to this law, you received 804,286,608 shillings. The 1.2 million, you should go back to Kwale and tell them, whereas this money arrived in the office of the governor, the balance of 400 million, where did you, since you received it in the treasury, where did you take that money? No wonder some of you young politicians, you are living very flashy lives. Mr. Speaker, you know, Chimera, I was the doctor in charge at Msambweni Hospital when he was being born. And when he then says that I could as well be his father, I want to confirm that I am not his father, because I did not saw any royal seats when when I was in Msambweni. Mr. Speaker, my hands are too full for me to try any gymnastics in Msambweni, because Mr. Speaker, these things, I'll continue begging you. Let us fix our mineral resource. Let us fix our mineral resource. Let us fix our mineral resource. If it was not thanks to Catherine Muma, I am the only person out of 60 MCAs in Kakamega elected, plus 12 members of parliament elected, plus 1 woman MP elected, plus a governor, is only Catherine and I who are asking, where is our gold? So when I say, Chimera, that you are gagged, I did not mean yourself. I mean the collective leadership. Because if they are not gagged, why are they not doing what Senator Muma is doing? As they say, he who pays the piper calls the tune. So the tune that is not being sung in Kakamega by leaders, it is because the investors have paid the piper. Mr. Speaker, we in Kakamega, we don't want anybody, don't want any investor to build any primary school, to build any health center, to build anything. We want to build them ourselves. And when I'll be the governor of Kakamega, Mr. Speaker, God willing, we intend to build the gold mining city of Kakamega out of this fortune. We are not, Catherine Muma, going to allow them to go away with the money so that they come and dig some silly boreholes in Kakamega for us. And Catherine Muma, if anything happens to me, this is not a joke. Please stand tall and go back to Ikolomani and refuse that this fortune should not be taken away. It is not out of choice that we were born in Kakamega. That is where we call home. Look at this lie. There's a place called Nyatige, where the Luo members of this house. Nyatige, Makarba, yeah. In Homa Bay. And on this schedule, Homa Bay has received 0. And you tell people, broad-based government, we are in government because a minister has been appointed from your tribe. We want the people of Homa Bay, the treasury, to pay them so that they don't go and queue for handouts from the home of the minister in the morning. Where is the money here? If broad-based is working, Homa Bay, where are you? Where is the money? We are not going to succumb to this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, finally, but not least, when on June 25th, children stormed this house, everybody in the National Assembly ran away. The executive, they increased their security and locked themselves in safety. It is only you, distinguished senators, who came out with courage, came in this house, put the mess in place, and brought back the country to normalcy. Don't forget, nobody should ever take that away from you. Without that debate that we had here that day, the country was gone. Everything, there were 7 things, 9 things that you told the president to do in this house. He did all of them but 2. So we saved the country. Let us save the country so that the young generation can spare us for our incompetence and wait for their time to come into leadership so that they right the wrong that we are doing today. Mr. Speaker, I want to celebrate members of parliament from Kisii and Nyamira County, members of parliament from Mount Kenya, members of parliament sign of patriotism. This country needs patriots. I'm telling you. And those patriots are walking around in the name of Linda Mwananchi. I hear somebody's planning not to register Linda Mwananchi as a party. Don't waste time. We are old dogs. Even if you don't register Linda Mwananchi as a party, we already have an alternative. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to oppose, not because it's wrong, but so as to request the senator to step it down. We want to fix this mess. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Mwinhaji Fagi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I want to confirm that Senator Khalwale, Dr. Senator Boni Khalwale, worked in the Coast region, and he was at some point at Portree's mental hospital. Yes, he's doctor. I said doctor. Dr. Khalwale. No, I don't know if he was a patient, but I know he was a doctor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And first of all, I wanted to correct the Senator for Nandi when he says that for the first time, royalties will be divided in the ratio of 70 to the national government, 20 to county governments, and 10% to the community. Mr. Speaker, sir, if you look at Section 183 of the Mining Act as it is currently, in subsection 5, it said that the royalties payable under subsection 1 shall be distributed as follows. A, 70% to the national government, B, 20% to the county government, and C, 10% to the community where the mining operations are taking place. So, Mr. Speaker, the object of this bill is not to distribute the royalties. The object of the bill is to hasten the payment of the royalties, because at the moment, the payment of royalties is clouded in mystery, and at some point, they have to come to the House.
Senator Boni Khalwale, listen to the chair leading with the mining committee. Listen to the chair. You listen to the chair of the committee, because there is something you maybe you did not get light on this bill.
So the object of the bill, Mr. Chairman, is to fasten or hasten the payment of the royalties.
And also explain the royalties, because I'm aware we have the royalties already explained.
Yes.
How they are divided among
yes. The royalties that are collected by the government, 10% goes to the community, 20% goes to the county government, and 70% goes to the government. However, payment of the 20% and 10% that goes to the community and to the county government has been a problem throughout this government and maybe the previous government. For instance, Mr. Speaker, sir, titanium mining, Tiomin came, they did their mining, they concluded last year, they are now in the process of rehabilitating the lands where the mining took place, but the mining royalties are being paid this financial year. Kwale just received, according to Senator Chimera, just received 1.2 billion from that royalties that were collected over the years, about 10 years or so, when the mining took place. So this delay in payment of the royalties to the county governments and to the communities is the problem that is being attempted to be cured by this amendment.
Senator Onyonka, you know this is not a village in Kisii. This, just pass by where you go to the bar and then you come back.
So, Chair, Mr. Speaker, if you look at the proposed amendment under Section 190A, the Cabinet Secretary shall transfer to the relevant county revenue fund the royalties allocated to the county governments and communities under Section 183 subsection 5, B and C, within 21 days of the receipt of the royalties. Unlike now where they have to go to the Treasury, they wait for the Parliament to pass the conditional allocations bill, and that's when now they follow the disbursement schedule that is normally passed to be able to receive the funds. Even then, they are not sure whether the funds will be paid or not. So this is a welcome amendment, Mr. Speaker, and we look forward to having it actuated. Mr. Speaker, the other problem that we have with the mining is that the landowner where the mining takes place does not receive anything. I was in Ikolomani, Malinya, last month, and Senator Khalwale was present, Senator Muma was present, and my committee was present. And the problem that we have is that the owner of the land, apart from the agreement that is made between the owner of the land and the mining company, does not get anything. The community surrounding the mining area only gets about 10%. And most of these mining companies, Mr. Speaker, are unscrupulous because they will get a license to prospect, and the prospection takes 5 years. Yeah. Whatever they get in the prospecting is not accounted for. Sometimes they even do the actual mining in the name of we are still prospecting. We have seen a vein of gold in this area, so we are checking whether this is viable. Is it a viable project or not? And in the process, whatever is mined is not accounted for. So, Mr. Speaker, the problem is with regard to the compensation due to the owners of the land. Because in some instances, once the land is excavated and the mining takes place, the owner of the land may not be able to come back to that parcel of land. In some instances, I was told while in Ikolomani the other day that there are some graves of big people who cannot be moved. And if you move them, it will be a curse to the community. It will be a curse to the community, even if they are going to do some things to appease the spirits of that person, but still it will be a curse to the community. So, Mr. Speaker, this issue of the owner of the land, because you own the land, but you don't own the minerals beneath the surface of the land. So this is where the problem is. And in fact, in Ikolomani where we went, the problem was that there was no proper consultation between the mining company who are prospecting to do the mining and the community. And the community, therefore, had to petition the Senate to be able to come and consider their issues. Mr. Speaker, sir, the other issue that is being brought in by this amendment is the establishment of these community committees, community project committees. In some instances, for instance, in Taita, when we went there, the community wanted the money to be paid and then shared amongst the community. This is again also happening in places like Jaribuni where there's a lot of quarry activities. The money that is supposed to be paid to the community is not maybe planned for what they want to do as a community. In some instances, they have come up with proposals. For instance, they want to put up health centers to protect the people from the dust pollution and also treat those who have been affected. In some instances, they want to create bursary funds so that the students coming from those communities are able to be educated through this fund. So this committee, Mr. Speaker, which is being established under subsection 190C, is also a welcome initiative that should be supported so that the community also can have a say in how they use those funds. Because, for instance, when the money comes in, most of the people become a bit unreasonable, and some will want the money to be shared out. The committee, what we call the sharing of this money that comes to the community was not in any way provided for in the current act as it is. So, Mr. Speaker, this is also a welcome development, and we need to support it. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill is a good amendment. We have taken up the issue of payment of royalties with the CS, and they were also in the process of amending the regulations so that they can also be paying directly to the communities, so that this money that comes in now to the community does not come in through the county government, because the county government is also subjecting it to another bureaucracy. If the community maybe may not have voted, because you know some of these places where mining takes place, people are a bit wealthy as a result of the activities of the artisanal miners who are able to challenge some of the decisions made by the county bureaucrats. So there might be some issues of delays and bureaucracy in the payment of these royalties. So this one also, Mr. Speaker, will be a welcome development. Mr. Speaker, sir, I move that I support this bill and pray that the senators support it and we pass it. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Okay, very well, Chairman. Next is Senator Catherine Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to contribute to this bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill concerns itself on the use of royalties from mining activities within communities, and is structured in a way to try and put in place a mechanism that can help to determine what projects the communities should engage in. Having gone through and still going through the issue of discussing the matter of gold mining and the manner in which the people of Isulu Ikolomani are being bullied into accepting whoever has been brought to them without proper understanding of what is going on, I am persuaded to request this House that the real need that this House needs to engage itself in is the need to completely overhaul the mining law to ensure that mining activities benefit the people of Kenya instead of benefiting largely foreign investors with a few individuals. Honorable Speaker, there is a mess in the way the relevant articles of the Constitution are being implemented, and we need to go back to this issue and find out, because since independence, we have had individuals and families of people in high places in government being the key beneficiaries of mining activities within the country. The whole process on how much we make, how much revenue we make from mining activities is blurred in opaqueness. It is unclear, and it is high time we made laws that can make it clear to know this is how much Kenya is making from the exploitation of the mining resources that the country has, whether in Kwale, whether in Kakamega, whether in Siaya, whether in Migori, Homa Bay, Kitui, Machakos. This is the amounts of revenues we are receiving. And this is how the communities where these mineral resources are benefiting from this. Honorable Speaker, I therefore fall in the category of trying to persuade Senator Karen Nyamu that the bill you're making is about sharing resources that are actually shrouded in opaqueness. So I'm suggesting that this Senate be the Senate, the House, that will step down this law and actually establish a team to reorganize the mining processes in this country to ensure that they benefit the people. Honorable Speaker, I want to thank Chair Mohamed Faki and his committee for coming to Isulu Bushangala to try and listen to the people of Bushangala. And I would want to say that while we were there, the people of Bushangala were repeatedly told that the land belongs to them, but the mines or the gold belongs to government. I would want to say that there is no such provision in the Constitution of Kenya. The Constitution of Kenya provides in Article 69(1) that the state shall ensure sustainable exploitation, utilization, management, and conservation of the environment and natural resources, and ensure the equitable sharing of the accruing benefits. It then goes further to say that the state shall utilize the environment and natural resource for the benefit of the people of Kenya, not for the benefit of somebody called government. And because of that interpretation that somebody called government is the owner of gold, is the owner of gemstones, is the owner of oil in Turkana, there are those who believe that because they are at the top of government, they are the ones who own these mineral resources, so they are the ones who will decide which foreigner will come and get into partnership with them to exploit those. And even as they do so, it is unclear how much monies they are putting into the treasury. Therefore, it is unclear for us to be able to audit to say that this county has contributed revenue equivalent to so much in terms of resources made out of gold, made out of gemstones, and so on. So the problem of this country, Honorable Speaker, is not how we are sharing the little that they are giving. If you look at the schedule that Senator Halware is making reference to, for the financial year 2026-2027, the 20% share of mineral royalties that Kakamega is receiving is 58 Kenya shillings. 58 Kenya shillings. Speaker, it means the government made 290 Kenya shillings out of gold from Kakamega. That's exactly what it means. So now, Karen, the reason I'm saying we possibly need to relook and look at this, your committee that you are setting up here would be worrying about how Kakamega can get meat in order to decide how to use 58 Kenya shillings. Honorable Speaker, this particular Senate needs to say no to the stealing of the mineral resources in the country, which is done through collusion between the relevant state departments and senior people working together with companies that are incorporated out of this country. It's strange that we borrow so much money, but we don't have an idea of investing some of that money in the mining of our resources in order to make money for our people. Mr. Speaker, coming back to this law, assuming that everything was okay, and we are talking about the royalty, this law fails to recognize the need for factoring proper intergovernmental cooperation between the national government and the county government. It basically gives powers to the CS Mining and brings in the CEC to be the one to coordinate, to advertise on how these people can be, the members of the committee can be hired. It then proceeds to give qualifications of who this member, who can be elected as a member to this committee. Very strange qualifications, because there are mainly 3 qualifications. One of them is that the person must be a member of the community. I find this one very strange, that a person must be proficient in English, Kiswahili, or Kenya Sign Language to be on this committee. These are committees. Some of the miners from my village are all the experts in mining in my village are people who may not have gone to school. Are people who may not be able to speak English or Kiswahili. I'm surprised we are not putting there a vernacular of the space where they are. Mining was a cultural activity in many of our communities. So we are actually designing this in such a way that it becomes another elitist group that will be determining for communities what they are supposed to do. The bill does also not consider the fact that a community project that may be picked might fall within the functional assignment of either level of government. And that's why it makes sense that when we make a law in the Senate, that law considers the possibility of how it intersects with the devolution. So if that committee were to elect to do a water resource, a water service to the community, that water service must be factored within the county plans around water service delivery within that community. If it was to select something to do with giving an agricultural support, we have to factor that agriculture is a devolved function, and therefore it needs to be fitted within the county government. But the point I made earlier is that the law we need in this country is a law that will ensure transparency in management of issues relating to mining. For instance, Honorable Speaker, we found out in Kakamega that the company that has been given a license, that is applying for a license for mining, is also getting a license for prospecting over the same area, surface area. You have a license for prospecting, you are applying for a license for mining. The license for mining is purportedly for this particular location, and the license for prospecting is for a larger location. Basically, trying to monopolize, put one company to be able to do everything in that area. But I asked the Ministry of Mining, the PS, whether the Ministry of Mining has the relevant capacity to be able to know whether a prospecting license is being used for mining. We must be able to show, we must be able to monitor, to be able to know that when people say they are prospecting, but they are mining and being escorted using state resources to go and deliver whatever they are excavating from the ground, guarded to travel, we need to be able to monitor to find out if it is prospecting, that it is prospecting. If it is mining, we must have the capacity as the country to be able to say so much gold was extracted from Kakamega and its worth is this. It cannot be that you are sitting in Nairobi depending on the prospecting person to be able to tell you, no, this is what we got, and we got it in so many kilos. And therefore, this is how much we are going to pay for it. Honorable Speaker, what I'm saying is our mining law has facilitated a lot of opaque activity around mining. That's why I'm wondering, that's why you end up with Kakamega being given 58 shillings in the name of royalties. I would want to know how much quantity that gold was. Honorable Speaker, so the point I'm making is that as Parliament, we owe it to the people of Kenya, and the law actually contemplates. Article 70 says that a transaction is subject to ratification by Parliament if it involves grant of the right or concession by or on behalf of any person, including national government, to another person for an exploitation of any national resource in Kenya. Parliament is supposed to be actually overseeing and helping in granting permissions over this issue. Are we doing that? Has the law we have passed helped us to protect the national resources for the benefit of Kenyans, not benefit of government, whoever that is? Because in the Constitution, the state is not executive government. The state is all institutions. It includes Parliament, the executive, the judiciary, and all other independent bodies. So, Honorable Speaker, much as I would want to give accolades to my sister for helping to see whether we can structure how royalties would be channeled, I would want to urge this House to do better and relook at our Mining Act with a view to overhauling it to deliver what the Constitution envisaged when the Constitution said for the benefit of the people of Kenya. As I finalize, Honorable Speaker, you will find that our own cultural miners, artisanal miners, are being treated as if they are lesser beings or they are lesser investors in the practice of mining, whether in Kwale, whether in Kakamega. And what we are having now are reactive regulations coming to try and deal in a particular way. My request is that we need an independent review of all these issues to ensure that the Article 69, Article 70, 71, in regard to natural resources are properly implemented. We might want to borrow from our sister country, Tanzania. When His Excellency Magufuli was there, they overhauled the mining law and regulations to ensure that there was greater benefit for the people of Tanzania than for those who had come to exploit and use the people and the resources of Tanzania for their own benefits. That's why they ran away from Tanzania and came to Kenya. As the people who represent communities, it is incumbent upon us to objectively step back and admit that we have not done a good job in developing the necessary regulations around mining, and as a result, we have turned our communities into slaves. We are harming our rivers with mining that is unchecked. We are harming our lands, and we are bullying our communities, treating them as though they are slaves in order to benefit foreign countries in the manner in which they did when they went to South Africa, when they came here. So I'm asking we step back and in a very objective way decide how best can we roll out the constitutional expectations around our mineral resources. And even as we do so, we must contemplate the trillions of dollars that we are borrowing. Why can't we invest some of those trillions of dollars in our own exploitation of our resources in order to fast track our route to Singapore or wherever else we want to go to? Why do we hand over this? So that we are told we will be able to extract in my village alone 261 billion worth of gold without speaking other slots, but you want to hand it over to other people. Is the 13 trillion not enough to factor a little bit of it in organizing communities to do that exploitation as Kenya? I think we need to relook at these laws, to relook at the regulations, and as we look at these laws, we must do so with the lens of Article 10 of the Constitution. We must do so with Article 70 of the Constitution, that the mineral resources are supposed to be exploited for the benefit of the people of Kenya, not for the benefit of an individual called government or big boys. They are usually big boys, not big girls. Big boys in government working together with proxy small boys from abroad. We need to get our act in order. And before we do so, Honorable Karen, I would request that the problem is bigger.
Very well. Senator Mwinzagu Chimela.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I certainly refuse to join the chorus and the choir that seeks to admonish my very good sister and friend, Senator Karen Nyamu, for the work that she's done, Madam Speaker, in proposing these, which to me, Madam Speaker, in my view, are very timely amendments. But we have listened to you, Madam Speaker. And I'm sure Senator Karen Nyamu has equally listened to you as you ably prosecuted your views and submissions on this amendment bill, Madam Speaker, as well as those from Senator Dr. Boni Halwale. But I want to assure you, Madam Speaker, that this government, led by the Honorable William Samoei Ruto, is extremely keen in making sure that minerals benefit our people. Let me congratulate Senator Karen Nyamu. I mean, I couldn't be prouder of Senator Karen Nyamu like I am today, this evening. For yes, I am indeed very, very proud of Senator Karen Nyamu for her efforts in drafting and putting together thoughts into this amendment bill, because this is the conversation that the people of Kwale, Madam Speaker, are having today. From those people in Pungu checkpoint, Ngombeni, all the way to Kiungani Vanga in Lungalunga sub-county, Madam Speaker, all the way to Silaloni in Samburu, Kinango constituency, all the way to Mazeras in Kinango constituency, Madam Speaker, the conversation that we've had as the people of Kwale is how best do we benefit from minerals, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it is common knowledge that we are perhaps the biggest mining site in this country. We recently had Base Titanium that undertook its mining activities in Msambweni constituency, Madam Speaker, for over 10 years, Madam Speaker. But there is nothing to show for it, Madam Speaker. The investor came into the county in Kwale, mined and took away raw materials in form of titanium in their raw form, Madam Speaker. There was no conversation at all whatsoever, Madam Speaker, on the need to process and add value to these raw materials before export happens, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the arrangement that the then government entered into with base titanium, Madam Speaker, was skewed to favor the investor. It is disheartening, Madam Speaker, to still learn, maybe for your information, Madam Speaker, you would learn that there are certain villagers from a village in Msambweni, a village known as Vumbu, that they were not compensated when they were asked to pave way for their land so that that land can be used for purposes of prospecting for these minerals and subsequent actual mining of titanium in Kwale County. And up to date, they are still complaining and lamenting that they need to be compensated. But there's no one to speak for them. And partly I agree with you on the need to overhaul the Mining Act as it is today. But you know, we need to start from somewhere. We have a beautiful piece of legislation in the name of the Mining Act. It basically addresses the entire spectrum of what will be a mining activity, all the way from licensing, all the way from resettlement and compensation of the project affected persons, all the way to issues of compliance and enforcement. I think that must be part 9 of that Mining Act. And up to establishment of offenses, Madam Speaker, under part 15, I think, if my memory serves me right, on the Mining Act. So we've done so well as a country in making sure that there is order and sanity in our mining activities, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me speak to the bill as proposed by Senator Karen Nyamu today, especially on the timely release of royalties to counties. It is common knowledge that an investor comes to the country, he seeks for a prospective license, ends up getting a prospective license, ends up acquiring a mining license, goes on the ground, starts mining, takes out the minerals out of the mining site to wherever it is, and I heard you saying Singapore or somewhere else, but I want to allow to tell you, Madam Speaker, that we are on course to going to Singapore. Don't worry, we shall be with you in Singapore. And you know, then now the long wait begins. The wait for royalties begins. As I speak today, my county just recently received its rightful share of the royalties after waiting for so long that these monies have now come to the county of Kwale, and it has now begun and brought forward another conversation on how best do we share these royalties funds. And the governor and a team in Kwale, Madam Speaker, for your information, had proposed certain projects within which these funds will be able to fund these projects. Because ideally, as we make our budget proposals, we will factor in these monies. And the governor sometimes is at pains to explain why they are unable to carry out certain projects, yet they budgeted for the same, and the funds are unavailable. So the reason why I said I am very proud of Senator Karen Nyamu is because she has cured that mischief. That there is money from a mining activity, the same funds are sitting somewhere in Nairobi with the minister and the CS for Treasury. There is no legal framework that specifically speaks as to the timelines within which these funds should come to the county government as either the 20% that is duly meant and allocated for the county government, or even the 10% that is meant for the community, Madam Speaker. So I'm happy today that there will be law for the first time that mandates those in charge of releasing these funds within 21 days upon receipt of the royalties, Madam Speaker. That's what Section 190A of this amendment speaks to. Madam Speaker, the other conversation has to do on project identification and implementation of the same, Madam Speaker. Right now, the people of Msambweni are saying the mining activity happened in Msambweni. And so they are entitled to the largest share of the projects in Msambweni. But I want to remind my people in Kwale that these minerals are minerals for all of us. This resource is for the people of Kwale. Those of us who come from Lungalunga sub-county must equally have a share of these proceeds. Those of us who come from Matuga sub-county, Msambweni, and Kinango equally have a share of these royalties, Madam Speaker. So I believe what Senator Karen Nyamu is proposing in form of setting up the relevant community project identification committees would cure this issue of sharing the royalties vis-a-vis the projects and how we roll out the projects in our counties. Madam Speaker, the need to involve the county government in rolling out the projects and the funds is very crucial. And that's why perhaps the good senator saw it fit to involve the county government effectively by way of making sure the CEC member in charge of finance and the CEC member in charge of mining would be able to be involved actively, not passively, but actively by law, Madam Speaker, so that the input of the county government is felt and that projects are implemented across the board. Madam Speaker, we have the Mrima debate in Kwale right now. And I heard those of us who spoke before me speaking on the need to making sure that the mining laws are for the people, are for the community. I want to tell the people of Kwale today that this is your moment, that this conversation on how do we involve ourselves in the mining of Mrima Hills happens now, and that everyone must be part of that conversation, Madam Speaker, so that we end up benefiting, truly benefiting from these resources. And I know already there are questions touching on the relocation of people, on compensation, and it appears as if there is misinformation out there. But it is time as a leadership from Kwale, Madam Speaker, we get it right this time around. And I'm happy the President has been very supportive enough in his rallying call that this time around we will not have our rare earth minerals being carted away to foreign countries without having the discussion on value addition happening locally, so that our industries can provide the many jobs, opportunities that our young men and women are seeking for across the board, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would also agree with you on the need to borrow heavily from the mining laws from our sister country, Tanzania. You know, I have had the chance to go around the mining areas in Tanzania. I've been to Geita, I've been to Tarime, I've been to Mwanza, where mining happens as if it's a normal thing. There is no secrecy in mining gold in Tanzania. It is not shrouded in mystery. There is no fear at all. Even young people are involved in this business and trade of gold and minerals in Tanzania. But when you come to Kenya here, trading in minerals, Madam Speaker, is like trading in bang. You know, it is like an illegality. Because our laws have not enabled that space and that opportunity for every Kenyan of goodwill to be allowed to trade, to participate and involve himself in mining activities without a shred of doubt. And that's why everything, and I'm happy my good professor, Tom Ogenda, is actually using the proper word, washosh. Right now, if you talk of mining activities in Kenya, you will be thought of something else. But if we overhaul the Mining Act as you've proposed, and I want to ask you and Senator Boni Alwale to lead this House in proposing these amendments, in proposing this overhaul of the law, Madam Speaker, so that ultimately we will end up having the proper mining regime in terms of a legal framework, so that every Kenyan who is interested in pursuing what is a mining activity can do so, knowing very sure that he has the full force and backing of the law. Madam Speaker, for those very many remarks, I want to thank and support the amendments as proposed by Senator Karen Nyamu. I know there is room for further amendments. We would wish to speak to them at that point in time. Senator Karen Nyamu, congratulations for these very, very timely amendments. And I hope many of us will speak towards supporting the same bill. Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you very much.
Senator Mudama.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to add my voice to this amendment bill from Senator Karen Nyamu. First of all, I would say that it's a very timely. And I would say, according to the royalties that are paid to the counties, the chair of lands has just told us that the county governments are supposed to receive 20% and the locals receive 10%. In this paper, what is written here is only the 20% that is supposed to go to the county governments, and the 10% that is supposed to go to the Mwananchi is not here. So the royalties that are paid are only to the county government, Senator Chimera, and not even to the locals. So we should stand up and fight for the people, because the people that the mines belong to are really suffering, and they've suffered for so long. When you see the people, when you go to like Voi, you'll find these foreigners, full of them there, and they go into the interior to buy the minerals, the gemstones, whatever kind of minerals that they can get from there. Who do they pay taxes to? We have just let our minerals be taken out of this country without any taxes being paid. And yet, Kenya, we are overloaded with debts of loans that are borrowed from outside the country. Yet, the minerals that we have here in this country can actually be enough to supply to every Kenyan. And as I talk this, I know what I'm talking about, because I've seen somebody dealing with stones, and I know what it means. But when you go down there to those people who are down there, you find them rotting in poverty. And yet, that land belongs to them, that mineral belongs to them, and they gain nothing, absolutely nothing. Madam Speaker, as Senator Karen Nyamu pursues to fasten the payment of the royalties to the counties, I would support what you have said, and Madam Speaker, and Senator Khalwale, that we overhaul the law about mining in this country. We have coal in this country. We have iron in this country. We have gold. We have gemstones. We have all manner of minerals in this country. And yet we are rotting in poverty. We are borrowing day in, day out, with no money to pay for the loans that the government is taking, and overloading the normal Mwananchi with taxes to be able to pay the loans. And yet we have all we have all what it takes to live, peacefully and happily with every kind of money and development that we need in this country. And our people also get, jobs. Madam Speaker, you've spoken of Tanzania. I've been to Tanzania, and I've gone to their mines department, wanting to know how their law work. And in Tanzania, no foreigner can register a company to do mining without a local mwananchi there being given 25% of the shares. And you remain with 75%. The local contributes nothing, but you must give them 25%. That's the law there. And that is why it is difficult to work in Tanzania. And that is why, as Senator Chimera said, everybody can mine easily with no fear. Here in Kenya, try to do it. How the stones or how the minerals will go out of your pocket, out of your way, you will not even know. Because we are not doing it in the right way. So we need to put in place the right laws, Madam Speaker, so that we can do that. This inviting outside people from outside to come and do mining so that they can give back to the community is not enough. Actually, we should invite them to come and open factories here to refine gold from here so that we sell it from here. But otherwise, if they carry it as raw materials, even the gemstones, they go there, they make the jewelries, they make whatever they make, and then we buy at a very high cost, and yet they are carrying them here at a throwaway price. We are losing it as a country, and we must see what we can do. Madam Speaker, in Machakos, we have minerals that are not even mentioned. We have sand, we have mica, we have gypsum, and building block materials. Our sand has built the whole of this Nairobi. Our stones have built the whole of this Kenya. And we are gaining nothing out of this. I would say, Senator Karen, as you look at the minerals, kindly look at also sand and the building stones that are there in so many ways. Madam Speaker, if I may mention just a local place in Machakos County, in Mavoko at the river, where we get the quarries, where we get all the stones. And the owners of those stones have actually called me and told me that the people have rented the mines so that they can mine the stones. They are not even paying them. And I want to ask the county government of Machakos to move in speed and intervene for those people to be paid their royalties and to be paid their rents. And if those people who are doing the work there can buy the stones. And Madam Speaker, another thing, where these foreigners come and mine, they leave those mines open. Our people fall into those mines and die. Nobody compensates such people. Even where they remove this sand, where they remove these stones, the building stones, they leave those quarries open. Something should be done through this bill and the bill that, Madam Speaker, you and Senator Khalwale, I know you're coming up with, that once anybody mines anywhere, they should also cover the ground after doing the work that they do there. Otherwise, they leave our people at risk. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Professor Ojenda.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, my contribution to the bill by Senator Nyamu, and I congratulate Senator Nyamu for bringing an amendment to the Mining Act, Cap 306 laws of Kenya, and for the first time demonstrating that she's indeed a lawyer of standing who understands that we need to action the Mining Act. Senator Nyamu, congratulations for that. Madam Speaker, however, I will point to substantive amendments at this stage. Number one, Madam Speaker, under the Constitution, and indeed the framers of the Constitution intended that whereas the royalties are shared in the ratio of 70, 20, and 10 from government to county and then to the community, it is the unfairness in that ratio that has informed the submissions this afternoon of Senator Halwale. And I think, Madam Speaker, has also informed your submissions that it is that unfair ratio that needs to be addressed first under the Mining Act. That share probably should be 50, 30, 20, or 50, 25, 25, so that there's fairness to the community, number one, and two, to the county governments where the minerals reside anyway. Madam Speaker, so that would be an amendment that should be originated by another senator if Senator Nyamu has not done so, but that's an important point. But we need equity and fairness in the distribution of royalties to communities where those minerals are, and must also consider, Madam Speaker, that those counties, now we have counties, we have 48 governments, and those counties where we have minerals must benefit from mining, so that if it is gold in Kakamega, let the county government of Kakamega benefit. If it is gold somewhere in Makalda, let the Migori government benefit, so that we don't have an unfair royalties when we know minerals reside in a particular county. But Madam Speaker, to the point of this amendment is good. It is good, but however, ignores the fact that the appointing authority in the county is the county governor. And therefore, the CC Mining and the CC Finance have no business appointing individuals and creating further bureaucracy in the management of funds that come to the county. Those funds, if there's need to appoint a committee, and if those funds are not channeled, because in my view, number one, those funds should be channeled to the CRF, the County Revenue Fund, for use by the county in the normal manner. That is the 20%. The 10% for the community, Madam Speaker, once it comes to the county for the benefit of the community, as the amendment intends, the appointing authority under the proposed section 190C of the Mining Act should be the governor, and the structure should not be as elaborate as set out. It should be 2 or 3 members of the actual community where the mineral resides, so that if it is gold in Ikolomani, for instance, appoint people from Ikolomani from that region, a framework that will make it easy to manage the funds and not create another bureaucracy that then takes all the funds before the public benefits. That is the intendment of a benefit. It should flow direct to the people. Madam Speaker, number 2, the other qualifications, in my view, that English and Swahili are really unfortunate. I think as long as the members of the committee have some form of governance, some ability to show that they can govern, maybe some knowledge in finance, public finance, law, administration, and things like that, then I think that would be the normal course of appointing individuals to boards. Let the board be lean, 5 members at most, then let them focus on a particular plan to implement a project in that community. The project should also be community specific. For me, that is the amendment that is deserved under 190C. Then when we go down, the governor appoints a lean framework, then the project is implemented directly, so that when funds come like the one in Kwale, the 1.2 billion, if that was the 20%, 10% would be 600 million. That would be money that would then be managed for that particular community. If it's the community in Mrima where there's gold that is unmined and where people are openly poor. I'm told they walk without shoes. Madam Speaker, let the community in Mrima take advantage of that 10%, manage their resources, and move on. If it's Kakamega, I'm shocked, Madam Speaker, that they earned 58 shillings as royalties. I think that is, there must be a problem, and then maybe the formula for calculating royalties and from minerals, Madam Speaker, should be open and should be open for examination and should be openly shared, so that since it is a fund that goes to the county, should be availed for debate by the county assembly, should be available to members to note and the county government to question, because the county government should know what amount of minerals is mined in a county and what is therefore available for the national government, the county government, and the 10% for the community. But overall, Madam Speaker, the elephant in the room, as they say, should be the need to amend the Mining Act Cap 306 to ensure that those unfair percentages reflect the reality now. The reality being that we have 48 governments, we have 47 county governments, and the intention of the county government is to serve the people, and therefore it must reflect devolution. We are now devolved. We cannot hold everything at the center and take nothing to the regions and expect the regions to develop. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
I don't see any other person wishing to contribute, so I now call upon the mover to reply.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And while I appreciate the sentiments of my colleagues, Senator Boni Halwale, Senator Catherine Muma, Senator Kavindu of Machakos, on government having a bigger stake on behalf of its people and everyone in the mining operations, this amendment is not about who should mine and who should not mine. This amendment addresses a more immediate issue, the issue of management of royalties that go to our people. Because, Madam Speaker, the government taking over operations of mining does not eliminate the fact that royalties need to go to the ground. And it does not eliminate the fact that we need a framework to manage these royalties transparently, representative of the people. I mean, in a manner that represents the people and their interests. I would say the most relevant contribution today has been from Senator Chimera and Senator for Kisumu County, Tom Ojenda. Because he has addressed directly the amendment and the composition of the committee and the composition of the royalties, how they should be shared. If this House wishes to debate a broader participation by the government, and if the government has the finances and the capabilities of running our mining operations in the country, that is a different amendment altogether and a broader policy framework that is not before this House today. At the end of the day, we need a transparent way in which royalties that accrue to the society or to the communities will be managed. That cannot be wished away by the fact that we cannot let foreigners, the discussion of foreigners taking all the minerals. And for your information, that's not what happens. Foreigners do not come and mine our minerals and just live with them. The licenses that the government gives them have conditions. It is not their minerals. The minerals belong to us. And the licenses point that out. And how we get the bigger share, we still get taxes, you know? So I think we should not deny the communities their rightful royalties by delaying this amendment or missing the point altogether, Madam Speaker. And I want to...
Senator Kenywa, what's your point of order?
One time.
Madam Speaker, it's not really a point of order, it's a point of clarification. The good senator, she's saying that the foreigners don't take our minerals, all of it. They do. That's why we have this law, so that they can be guided properly, so that they don't take all our minerals. That's why we have, even about oil, we have 5% going to the community, and that's why we have this law. So I would want her clarification, what she means that the foreigners don't come to this country or any other country and take all the minerals.
Senator Karen, you might want to clarify what you meant.
I think he has answered himself, because he has said that there is provisions for how the miners or the foreigners should appropriate the funds in which, the funds from which they get from what they extract. So if he's aware that they give 5% to the community, and whatever percent, how does that translate to them taking the minerals to themselves, all to themselves? I would like members to have a look at a mining license. It is not a license to run a matatu, whereby the owner ferries people and gets the entire profit. There's intricate details of what the country gets, what the county government gets, the taxes and all that. And if we want to amend that, if we want the foreigners to get 10%, it is up to us. But today, that's not what we are legislating. We are trying to ensure that communities' royalties are not abused on the ground, that people at the county level and the county government level and at the community level also are not taking advantage of our people and using funds in a manner that we cannot trace. That is a framework set out in this amendment. And we can debate that. But if we want to talk about the country taking charge of our mining operations, that's a whole other debate that we can do at a later time. And Madam Speaker, I want to request that putting of the question be deferred to a later date, pursuant to Standing Order 66.3.
It is so deferred. The putting of the question is so deferred. Next order. Honorable Senators, wish to reorganize the order of the, on the paper and wish to defer orders 8 to 14. Next order.
Order number 15, the County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2024, second reading.
That is also deferred. The mover is not present. Next order.
Order number 16, the Agriculture and Food Authority Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 13 of 2023, second reading.
Deferred. Next order.
Order number 18, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Energy regarding alleged irregularities in the petroleum product supply chain.
Deferred. Next order.
Order number 19, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Energy on its inquiry regarding the handing over of a cooking gas handling facilities in Mombasa County to a private firm.
Honorable Senators, orders number 20 and 21 are also deferred. Honorable Senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 30th July 2026 at 2:30 p.m.